and welcome to the podcast. I am Zach Young, and joined by me, as always, is the Triple H to my Shawn Michaels, the Swamp Thing to my Constantine, and the Doc Ock to my Norman Osborn. I might go different ways, but we can work with it. But most importantly, he's the Kaiju Commander to my Captain Comics. It's Tanner Bays, as always.
Good morning and good afternoon to the people of the nation. What's going on?
And with us here and Techie on the other side, this is the Kaiju and Comics podcast where we talk about anything else.
But, can we say hi to the people that are watching at night?
I would have done the Doc Ock, the Rhino to my Doc Ock.
Hi, people at night.
You're right. I said it and I was like, this could be better, but I'm like, you got the Macho Man shirt on. If Hulk Hogan wasn't so Hulk Hogan, I'd make you the Macho Man to my Hulk Hogan, but I definitely don't want to be Hulk Hogan.
All right. So
we're feeling good. We're here. This is
yes.
Do you think it's finally going to be episode 1?
No.
You think we're going to run to another issue?
I'm confident for episode 0.75 or episode 0.99.
He's been calling it episode 0.75
we had a small issue last time. The box above your head wasn't there because there was no video.
Yeah, there was nothing.
But I'm pretty sure the video is good, so I'm pretty sure there's a box above your head.
Are we sure the video is good? Because I don't see it. Wait. Yeah, no, I still don't see it.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, no.
Give me a second. Let me go in there and try to fix it up.
All right.
I'll insert some sound effects.
Oh! Well, you look at that.
There we go. We're good.
There it is.
What color is it? I can't see it.
Oh, probably not a color I would choose. But if I were to say, if there were... What color would you say?
I was dead ass going to use whatever color you chose.
Huh. Puce.
Why did you choose a weird one? What color is puce?
It's puce. You shouldn't have said what you said.
I know. I thought you were just going to say, it should be purple, but it probably isn't, because then I just would have made it purple. I have a pink one.
No, that's puce.
It is puce, sir. It is like the end puce. The end, the towers that they make in Minecraft.
Okay. Well, you take that picture, Techie, you send it to me, and then later when I'm eventually putting this together, I'll use that droplet feature on Photoshop, and I will make it that color, because I am
a man in my
world. No, puce.
Why not purple?
Because you said it was puce.
But that's the color I want.
But you said it was puce.
You said puce,
it was puce, but I wanted it to be purple.
I guess it's purple now.
Okay, so when we get the blue logo up there, you'll see it, and everything will be fine.
And now it's blue.
What is on our table today?
DC has been announcing cartoons left, right, and center. We got 3 big ones coming up.
Hit me.
We have an HBO Max exclusive Superman cartoon I believe it's called My Life with Superman. And it has him, Lois Lane, and Jimmy Olsen in it. That's what we've seen. We've only seen a screenshot of it. And man, is the internet not happy for some reason.
Well, they're never happy.
I don't know why. I think Clark looks great. Lois has a pixie cut, which some people aren't a big fan of. I think it's cool. I don't know. Jimmy Olsen is black, and I get that people don't like painting over for representation, but he's been black in an adaptation before, so I think we're fine.
Who cares? Who
cares? It's a dumb cartoon, and I'm happy to be getting more Superman stuff.
Okay, what other cartoons? What are we talking?
We're getting an Injustice cartoon feature.
Okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I know you love it.
Injustice is my favorite comic, so
I gotta
I'll be there.
Be a bit spiteful here because I was going at work, I was going about my day, and Darian Riley sent me a tweet.
Wait, who sent it to you?
Darian Riley of the Pop Striker podcast.
Oh, Pop Striker fame. Darian Riley.
Yes, him. And I open it and I see the Injustice logo, and I was extremely excited because I thought it was a new game. And then I opened it, and I was like, listen, a cartoon movie for Injustice is pretty cool. I'm into it. But, when you think it's a new game coming...
Yeah.
We got one more thing coming. The DC League of Super Pets. Do you know what the Super Pets are?
I know Crypto. And I know the Bat Dog.
There you go.
What else do I know? I only remember from the Crypto cartoon show when I was a kid.
Genuinely, I don't remember all of them, but I'm only even mentioning it because, we know who's going to be voicing Crypto.
Who? Henry Cavill?
Sadly, no.
Oh, okay.
I am into that idea.
It was just a guess.
The Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson's going to be voicing Crypto.
Okay. That'll be cool, I guess.
I was not expecting that announcement, and I saw it, and I was like, shit, okay.
The MODOK show dropped on Disney+.
Oh, did it?
Yes.
Was it on Disney Plus or was it on Hulu?
Hulu.
It was on Hulu.
Yes.
I got a hold of it. It's actually not bad. If you like Robot Chicken, you'll probably like it.
Okay.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I just wanted it dropped. I didn't hear anything about it until it dropped, but it was good.
Yeah, I was seeing their promotional stuff for it. I'm not big on that animation style.
Just want to, real quick.
Okay, I'm sliding this right in here. We're not gonna spend a lot of time on it. They announced a trade for my current favorite comic ongoing, Radiant Black. In August, first 6 issues are going to be collected in a trade. We're going to be talking about that later when it comes out. Do you know the football player Chris Jones?
Yes, I do know Chris Jones.
What team does he play for? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
Is he even currently playing Chris Jones?
I have no idea.
I don't think. You know what? I don't know Chris Jones. I know Thomas Jones.
Okay.
So continue.
Believe it or not, this is all part of my ploy. I wanted to prove that no one knows who he is. I'm kidding. Techie is waving me.
What?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Was he a running back? What is he?
He's a defensive tackle.
Chris Jones. Okay, so why is Chris Jones? What's going on with Chris Jones?
You're looking him up there, Techie. Does it happen to have his nickname listed there?
No.
Okay. They call him Stone Cold Chris Jones.
Okay.
Now, nicknames are never a problem, especially in something like football where, you know, like, you don't control what people call you. And I'm not 100% sure on how he got, like, I didn't know about him until today when I heard this news for it. Now, if you have had any sort of knowledge of pro wrestling, you probably know another Stone Cold.
Yes, sir.
I just want to have that out in the atmosphere for a second.
Okay.
Chris Jones at some point had established, and he might have just been a part of this, he might have not been the only one establishing it, established a company called Stone Cold LLC, and they're selling soda. Stone Cold Jones Soda. Now, for those of you who don't know anything about pro wrestling and somehow don't recognize the name Stone Cold Steve Austin, which is possible. It's absolutely possible.
Okay.
He's quite possibly the most famous and profitable wrestler of all time. The only one that gives him the run for that is The Rock, who gets his fame from movie. Like,
I was like, yeah, he's definitely he's in that GOAT debate for wrestling.
It might not even be a debate anymore.
I was like, yeah, it's like Jordan LeBron, but wrestling version.
Yeah, it is the biggest thing. So when this company was established and began selling the soda, WWE was like, you're doing what now? Lawsuits have been filed. They have claimed that he is infringing on the rights for Stone Cold Steve Austin. The case is still going on. Stone Cold LLC has asked for their 5th extension because WWE, it sounds like, isn't willing to settle. It looks like they're saying change your name, and yeah. This is more of a trademark law, the Stone Cold thing, but it's that kind of stuff. I've done so much stuff into it.
I don't even know why they would even try to do that.
Yeah, it's the creating the company and marketing that got me. Not even calling him Stone Cold Jones. Whatever. You're going to call someone something cool.
Stone Cold Chris Jones. Whatever. So, last bit of news, Eternals trailer.
Which I didn't know dropped until 10 minutes ago.
Yes, we watched it. It didn't give me much.
It feels weird, and that means I'm kind of into it.
Yeah, it looks different. I hope it's good. I hope it's engaging. I like the Eternals. I think they're cool. But there's a lot of cool actors. Salma Hayek is in this film. And if she dies, I will riot. Oh, that is my celebrity crush. I think she's so beautiful.
Aww.
But that's just me. But I'm excited. I hope it's good.
My brain.
It looked a little boring. But I don't know if that's just them fixing their trailer. And that sounds weird to say fixing your trailer and making it boring. But I'm happy they're not showing me everything.
You want to spark interest without spoiling the movie.
Yes. So I hope it's good. It probably will be good.
Sparked some interest in me. Not anything to be super excited about, but more the curiosity of we're doing what? What's that thing? And part of that is because I literally don't know anything.
A lot of the movies they announced for this next couple of waves have been like that. Like Shang-Chi, I think, is in that same boat.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Eternals. Probably Blade. I think most casual fans, I would say, probably didn't realize Blade was actually a Marvel character.
Yeah.
They thought he was just a black
dude.
vampire hunter that had 3 movies in the 2000s.
Yeah.
What are we doing now?
I don't know. How do you want to do this next part?
Are you going to talk about what you read first?
I definitely have to.
Okay,
at the very least.
Yep, go ahead.
Because Spider-Man Life Story is one hell of a story. We might not go through all this today because it's very dense, and the way that Spider-Man Life Story works is it's 6 issues. Each issue takes place in a different decade. All of the characters actually age, unlike, a comic book. Every time we go through, it says the year. Sometimes he'll say his age, but you can always figure out his age by going through it. And also, one other thing that happens, all of your big Marvel events, like Secret Wars, Civil War, all that stuff, and all the stuff that happened in Spider-Man's timeline, still happened the year that it was published. But we'll get to that later. It starts off very classic in the 60s. We loving it. Peter, he's been Spider-Man 4 years, he's 19, he's in college, and the Vietnam War is raging. Oh yeah, this book gets a little bit political. It is comics after all. He's worried about getting drafted because he's Spider-Man. He's superhuman. He doesn't know how that works. Currently, college is protecting him.
I love when comics do that.
It's shackled with that moral dilemma because, Iron Man's all fighting the war. All these guys, some of the heroes are already out fighting. And he has this moral dilemma. He's like, I could go and I could end this, like, because he is Spider-Man, but also, should I go? Is this war right to fight? You know, all that stuff that the Vietnam War made you question.
That whole thing, that's just something crazy.
I forget which thing happens first, so we're going to stick with the war for now. He's swinging through town, he hears someone yell and something clank, and he swings to it, and it's Captain America fighting a few goons. Spidey lands down, whips one guy up, gives Cap a little bit of assistance, and it's Cap. So, you know, he's just like, thanks for the help, Spider-Man, and he's being flanked by people with questions, and he runs off. Cap says thanks and runs. Spidey chases after him, he's just like, don't you usually sign autographs? And Cap's just like, I do, but I don't have an answer for them about this war. Like, it's again, comes in with the war, and Cap is just like, Spidey, I want you to know that I appreciate what you do.
Aww.
Like, thank you for helping me and all that sort of stuff. I think I have to go. And Spider-Man, he reveals some of his worries that he has about it, and Cap pretty much validates them. Just like, don't feel pressured. I understand, but I think I need to go because his own reasons.
He's Captain America.
Yeah. Oh, it gets good.
Imagine having America fight a war and then Captain America is like, I don't want to back you on that.
Spidey goes, he meets up with Gwen, Harry, and MJ.
Okay.
Remember, he's in college, so he's dating Gwen at this point.
Yep.
At a going away party for Flash Thompson.
He's going away.
He's going to Nam. he's gotta.
Oh, stop, Zach. I don't know what it's about Flash Thompson, but when I think about it, it genuinely makes me tear up.
Yes, it's him going to Nam. It's his going away party. Peter's a bit late because he was Spider-Manning.
Yeah.
Him and Flash says, I forget what Flash says. He says something, and Peter kind of claps back with like the anguish. They have a little argument. Gwen and MJ separate him. Gwen's just like, he's going away to fight this war. Like, he might not come back. And Peter's like, you're right. He comes back to him and he apologizes, and they have like, if you were a longtime reader of Spider-Man comics, and this book is better when you are, I think it's still readable without all that. But like, if you have it, you know like how that relationship progressed, and it's just kind of like giving you the flip book of that, like of the like, you know, I'm still hurt from when you bullied me. I know you're a changed man. I'm sorry that I flipped out at you. And Flash is just like, oh, I'm sorry for treating you like that, like I was out of line, like just all this stuff. And Peter says, but Flash, like, you were in college with us. You don't have to go. Why are you going? And Flash says, because I think it's what Spider-Man would do. Flash, of course, is the biggest Spider-Man fan.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry.
And says, it's because I think it's what Spider-Man would do. And Peter's just like, yeah, but he didn't go over. And he's like, well, yeah, he is fighting people here. He's keeping us safe here. I can't keep us safe here, but I can go over there and I can help them. And I can be a hero like him, which is in line with what happened before. Like, it is perfectly in line. So he goes, and Peter spots Harry's dad, Norman Osborn, at the bar. Because they're in, like, this club. Yeah. And he goes to him, he's like, Mr. Osborn, what are you doing here? This isn't a place for you. And Norman's just like, Peter, I told you, call me Norman. Because, you know, he's he's Norman Osborn. Yeah. And they're talking about things, and Norman's just like, you really should accept my offer, Pete. Like, you can intern with me. And Peter's just like, yeah, but I already have an intern set up at the Baxter building. Like, we're all good. He's like, well, that's all right, Pete. It's just can you look up there for me? And he points to a shelf. And Peter looks up. It's just a little jack-o'-lantern sitting there. And you see Peter's demeanor instantly change. And Norman's just like, yeah. There's about 5 of them set up throughout this building. I'm going to need you to meet me in the alley. Don't get up for like 5 minutes or else I blow this entire place up.
Oh my gosh, Norman!
And of course, like, we know who he is. We know he's the Green Goblin. And Peter, like, it does a quick thing where Peter realizes it to make sure, like, you're caught up. They meet him in the alley. They fight. Gobby threatens him with the death of his friends, specifically his one love, Gwen Stacy.
That's right.
And Peter says, yeah, how about no? And beats the shit out of him.
As you should.
Yep, and he gets put into jail.
Oh.
Yep, Norman behind bars.
Oh, okay.
That's how we end the first issue in this first time in the 60s. We get a quick 2-page thing where we have American soldiers in Vietnam. They come up onto a town, they go to open fire, and you see a shield. Bunk! Bunk! And you see Captain America come down and say, no, these people are under my protection.
Wait, he's defending the Vietnamese?
He's defending the innocent. This is one of those times where the troops are coming.
Where they're going to come into...
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Zach, you're making me want to read this now.
It's really good,
Yes,
dude.
I'm telling you, it's the thing I have with the boys too that I love it. The real life implication of superheroes is one of the coolest things you can do when you're writing superhero stories.
It's specifically to where like even in the Winter Soldier, where like Captain America, like he's really disagreeing with what America's doing, but he's fighting for this liberty and this freedom. And like you believe that in that situation, Captain America is doing what's right, but he is fighting against the U.S. government, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
We go to the next issue. We go to the 70s. Not-more is still happening. It's all still happening. Spider-Man, again, is getting more and more pressure, but he's fine. You notice, now again, we jump about 10 years, so Peter's so Peter's entering his 30s now. We might jump 11 years, so he's exactly 30. Whatever. And you notice the spider suit's a bit different. It's a bit padded, bit armored up, because he is getting a bit older, of course, which is something I really like that they do, is they start changing his suit a little bit to, like, accompany for the fact that we're, like, he's getting older. Like, he's better than your average man, but he's working at the Baxter Building with Reed Richards. That internship really turned into something.
Love Reed.
Yeah, I mean, Reed's looking a bit scruffy, looking a bit rough.
That's the best Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Scruffy Fantastic.
Yep.
He goes hard in Marvel Future Fight. Scruffy Fantastic. I'll tell you what.
Stuff on the news just like Captain America's a traitor. How dare he do these things? Because he is fighting against the U.S. government. We're seeing propaganda of Iron Man on the screen. Tony Stark.
This is 10 years later?
Yeah.
So he's still...
Non-war is still happening. I have what I like to call Spider-Man PTSD, which is where I'm ready for shit to go wrong because it's Spider-Man and something has to go wrong.
Always goes wrong.
And like him and Reed are talking and they're getting a bit heated because Peter has this like technologies available to the world sort of. Peter takes very liberal stances in this book and it's usually on a comic scale.
Okay.
And he asks Reed, he's just like, Reed, didn't you like create this self-replicating fabric? He's talking about the unstable particles.
Okay.
And Reed's just like, yeah, and Peter was just like, why do we only use that? Why isn't that available to the world? And he's just like, well, don't you understand? It'll do this, 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 and this.
Yeah.
Like, the conversation doesn't matter that much. It does, because the tension between those two is a big part of this, too. And one of them hits a thing, coffee cup falls off, and you see a tentacle reach out and grab it.
Oh, the Doc Ock's here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doc Ock walks through, and there's just, like, immediately there's, like, thought bubbles explaining, oh, yeah, I have to work with him, too. And it's explained that Doc Ock is reformed. He's married Aunt May. Which is
I love that.
Which Doc Ock and Aunt May is an arc that happens in the comic line. So it's again like we're keeping with this thing.
Oh my god.
And Peter's like, yeah, whatever, I gotta go. And they know he's Spider-Man, so he can just get dressed and put out the window. Or whatever.
Hold on, Doc Ock is seeing Aunt May. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doc Ock has seen Aunt May. I think
so cute.
I don't remember if they got married fully, but I know that they were going to get married at some point.
So isn't it?
That really makes my day.
But in this book, they're married.
Aunt Ock.
It's okay. That's
all right, bye.
Move on.
Listen, he does say, and it's like, yeah, and it's trouble calling him Uncle Ock. It's like, oh, that's good.
Ew, that's just, it doesn't go well.
So he started off as a villain, he was reformed?
Yes.
Okay, alright.
And he works with Reed Richards at the Baxter Building.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in here that we're like, I would love to get like other stories of what's going on in this world.
I think Doc Ock might be the most underutilized, super intelligent dude in Marvel Comics.
Well, he makes a couple more appearances in this book.
Well, and I would assume he would because it's a Spider-Man comic. Yeah. But he's very underutilized, I feel.
We get cutaways. Harry's visiting his father who's still in prison. Norman is trying to act reform, like he doesn't remember his time at the Goblin, like there was a problem with the Goblin serum and stuff like that. And while like also playing this manipulation game with Harry, like, you know, the things that Norman does. It's why he's such a supervillain. Like, yeah. He's playing just like, you gotta continue my legacy, Harry. Like, it's all up to you now. The Osborn legacy is on your shoulders. Oh, I never thought of Peter as my son. What are you talking about? It's like, I need you to check on Project Genesis. And Harry's just like, Dad, I just finished rebuilding our company out of all of this shit that the company was going through. Like, I just finished. This isn't time for Project Genesis. And Norman's just like, but my legacy, son. And he's just like, fine, I will go. Cut back to Peter, who's visiting Gwen at her job. She's working for their old high school teacher, who then became like an actual biologist.
Okay. And
is running a company. Old high school teacher whose name I don't care to remember, and it might be important, but
it's not Lizard, is it?
No, it's not. Okay. They mention him.
Okay. Yeah.
Because one of the things that he focuses on is regrowing body parts, and they name drop and it's just like, yeah, you even helped Kurt Connors get better so he wouldn't become the Lizard again. Like, they give the mention of it. Like, this is the thing they do is like, if a character isn't appearing in the book, they usually mention them in some capacity. The teacher's trying to hire Peter. He's just kind of like, You don't have to work for that Richards guy. You can come work here. It can be like the high school days, and Peter's just like, Doc, I don't know shit about biology. I do tech, like, which is true. That's what he does. And Peter's just like, plus, like, working with my wife, him and Gwen are married by this point.
Hey.
Working with my wife, like, that's not kosher. Like, we can't be doing that. Surprise! Harry attacks as the Black Goblin. I don't know if they, like, it's basically like, because Harry becomes the Green Goblin in comics. Instead of making him the Green Goblin, it's basically just the Goblin, but black instead of green.
So he followed the legacy, I guess?
Yeah. Well, he needs to come check on Project Genesis.
I'm tired of that.
He attacks. Peter unintentionally but intentionally reveals himself as Spider-Man to his old teacher to save them, basically.
Oh, okay.
They fight. Finally, a secret door is turned on, the wall opens up, and we see 3 cloning pods. One has Norman Osborn.
Huh.
One has Peter Parker.
Huh.
And the third has Gwen Stacy.
Huh?
Peter's just like, what is this? I can't believe it. And the Goblin sits down and is just like, and pulls off his face to reveal it's Harry. We already know it's Harry by this point, but character reveal. Characters need to know. It's just like, Doc, you were only supposed to make a new Norman so that way the real Norman Osborn can blame everything on him. That's all you were supposed to do. And Doc is just like, no, he said he wanted a Peter as well. He said he also wanted Peter. And Harry's just like, he did always see you as his son. Like, wrenching the knife. And they're just like, yeah, what about Gwen? And Doc is just like, you were never supposed to know. I was going to have her all to myself. And then Harry lashes out, grabs some bombs, blows up the cloning pods. Peter gets them out of there.
I was supposed to have her all to myself? What the fuck?
Believe it or not, this isn't the most fucked up thing they've done with Gwen Stacy. Spider-Man gets them down. Harry comes back down. Like, he talked Harry down. And then they turn and, like, Gwen is just like, Peter, you can't leave them up there. Like, whether they're abomination or not, they are people. And Peter's just like, you're right. He goes up. Norman and Gwen are dead. But, of course, spider powers. The Peter is still alive. Grabs them, gets them down. And the doctor is, like, crying. And we're just like, what the fuck? Like, what are you even thinking? He's just like, you don't understand. I was going to keep her to myself. The real one to myself. This is when we realized that the Gwen in the pod was the original Gwen.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was... Wait, he just
so
kidnapped her?
How long has she been in the pod, then? Oh, okay, great. Love that. Love no explanations.
That's weird.
We get another one of, like, those time jumps a year or two later, just to kind of, like, bridge a gap. And Peter is with MJ is out front. MJ and Harry had gotten engaged, and then, like, an engage broke off. He left her money because he went away because he needed to think about things. We see Gwen and a bearded Peter, and they're talking to Mary Jane, and Mary Jane is just like, listen, Peter would come down, but there's still a lot for him, like a clone of himself and a clone of his dead wife. I forget how she phrases it, but that basic thing. And she's like, what do you do now? It's like, well, we'll go and we'll live somewhere else. We'll live in Chicago under the names, and I'm going to change these names because they said we're doing these names and then later retconned it. We'll go live as Helen and Ben Reilly.
I like Ben. Yeah.
We had to get, like, I will say this, it would be surprising if they didn't do any Clone Saga stuff, so I'm happy, like, I accept this.
Yeah.
So they go, and Mary Jane goes back into her apartment, and this is where we get the exposition that Harry has left. He left her all this money so she could live, and Peter's living with her now.
Okay.
One more thing that I forgot, this happens earlier on, it happens at the beginning. Peter is standing at a gravesite, and Gwen comes up and he's just like, listen, I know this sucks, I know it's the anniversary of his death, but, like, you gotta move on. And this hit me really hard, because Peter standing at a grave, makes sense. It's something he does.
Yeah, it's like Uncle Ben.
Yeah, they walk away, except...
It's not Uncle Ben.
No, it's Eugene Flash Thompson.
What?
1977.
I actually, that's hurting.
It hurt. Like, I saw it.
So he dies in this comic.
He dies in the Vietnam War.
Eugene.
Instead of being paralyzed.
Yeah. Yeah, that hit really, because I was expecting it to just be Ben or something. And it hit his Flash. I was like, what? So Spider-Man Life Story, that's what I've been reading. What have you been doing? You been consuming any content lately?
I have been consuming content. I have been waiting for Season 4 of Castlevania to drop. And I didn't know it dropped. And then I saw it on somebody's timeline. I'm like, that dropped? And I realized I don't go on Netflix anymore because everything else is better. So I opened it up, and it's the first thing there. I'm like, I haven't been on here in forever. So then I binged it in one night, And watch season 4.
That's the best way to watch things.
Castlevania is just, it was good from in the beginning, and it's good at the end. All the characters are interesting. It takes place in the Castlevania universe. If you played the video games, it's basically the Belmonts are, or if you've played Smash Brothers, you know. The Belmonts are vampire hunters. Alucard is in it, Dracula's son. It starts off, Dracula lets this woman into his house, and it's his wife, and then he has this kid, but then they burn the wife for having science, because they call it magic, and it's against the church to have magic. So they kill his wife, and then he snaps. He's like, all right, I'll give you a year. If you don't leave the area that they're in, I'm gonna kill every single one of you, and I'm taking this land back. This is mine. You have a year. A year comes. They're still there. The Pope is outside. Like, we don't care about the curse, blah, blah, blah. Then it starts raining blood. Dracula's like, I gave you a year. You didn't want to leave. And he releases the night beasts, and they rip people in half. They don't care. It is wild. It's gory, and it's fantastic. Then they cut to Belmont. They introduce us to Trevor Belmont. I don't know if he has any game relevancy. I think he's the first time I've heard Trevor Belmont ever. I've played a couple of Castlevania games. Like, I played Symphony of the Night. I played the original with my dad. I think maybe it might not have been my dad or somebody else's dad. I don't remember. But that
Could have been somebody
that
else.
I think is just Simon. I think that's Simon in that one. And they introduce him. We get her last name is Belnesses, but it's something great. Bobby, do me a favor. Look up Sophia Belnades. Look up the Castlevania characters. The Castlevania show, the cast. But they introduce us to her. She's a magician. She can, fire. She's like Avatar state. So
okay.
She's doing her
This I
thing.
understand.
Which character is this?
What is it?
Which character?
The girl. Belnades. What's her first name?
Sifia.
Oh, yeah.
Sifa.
Sifia.
You're very close.
Or Sypha. Sypha, I think is how
There
they
you
say
go.
it.
That's how you say that.
Yeah.
It's
So
Sypha. I'm bad at.
Yeah, Sypha. Yeah, Sypha. That is right. Sypha Belnades. She's cool. She's what they call a speaker, and they carry down history and stuff, and that's really cool. This is all season 1 stuff. Season 1's 4 episodes. I think it was like a pilot to feel out.
Yeah. People
wanted it, and then there's 3 seasons after that. I think they're all 10 episodes. I could be wrong, but then we get all that. And we don't get any of Dracula's court, I think, in the first season, but going into the second season, we do. Basically, it's just the first season they go over. Sypha's actually frozen solid in a tomb because she was looking for this legend that is going to save everybody. The legend ends up being Alucard. It was this man sealed away, and it was actually Alucard. Alucard is Dracula's son who has vampire powers, which is super speed, super strength, stuff like that. But he's also part human, so he doesn't have to, he's not like the vampires. He's got part human in him. Alucard is very good. All the characters are very, very good. So, the first season ends with them finding Alucard, and that's it. Second season opens up. We get Dracula's war effort, him taking over all of this area that he said he was going to take over. They're taking over this part of Europe. And they introduce us to one Viking vampire that... I don't remember his name. He's in 3 episodes in season 1, and then he gets murdered, and he's just annoying. I didn't care for him. I understand what he was supposed to be, and you're not supposed to like him. Yeah. So he died, Bloodbrand or something. I don't care. I could really care less. And then they show us Carmilla, who becomes a very integral part to the story. It's this female vampire that nobody really knows what she's doing there because she's not part of Dracula's court, but she heard that Dracula was doing this, and Dracula's the top dog, so it's if he does something...
Well, it's Dracula.
You're coming through.
It's either him or Strahd.
Yeah. So he goes ahead. He does it. And, she comes through, and she starts to manipulate one of the 2 humans that work with Dracula. There's 2 humans that work with Dracula. They're forge masters. They make the night beasts. They work through their tools, and they create, out of dead bodies, these night creatures. They summon a soul from hell, and they turn into this ungodly beast. Okay. So she goes after Harold. That is not his name. Not Harold. I know the one is Isaac. Isaac is sick. Isaac is the most loyal to Dracula. He wants the humans to die. But the other guy, Hector, that's his name. Hector doesn't want the humans to die. He doesn't want them to suffer. He wants them to kind of be corralled and then just used as cattle. But he doesn't want them all to die. Isaac's just kill them all. I'm down with it because of his past experiences. He sits there with, those they're rope paddles, but they have spikes on them?
Yes.
He just hits himself with it. And he, he repents. type of deal. So yeah, he's very good. You watch him grow over the seasons, and then so that season happens. Carmilla manipulates Hector to betray Dracula. They end up killing all the other big all the big vampires in the court. They try to kill Dracula. At the same time, Simon, Sypha, and Alucard are trying to do the same thing, but they don't know about each other. And then finally, at the end, they figure out how to get into Dracula's castle. They bring it to them, to where they are, and at the end of the second season, Dracula's dead. They kill Dracula. Dracula goes away. Simon and Sypha are like, we're going to go off and do our thing. Alucard, you can stay here at the castle and protect, because they brought the castle to the Belmont estate. So now they're next to each other, like, just watch over this.
Do it
if you don't want to do anything. Yeah. Third season is very good. Isaac got thrown through a teleporting mirror, and he's just stuck in the middle of the desert. So
I love that.
Isaac, because Dracula knows at the end, he's like, I'm probably going to die. We're being attacked. I'm probably going down. I don't want to see you die. So he throws him through, like, Isaac wants to stay there and protect him. He's like, it's not happening, boss. You know, in that thing where they have two people go into a room and they lock it up, like, all right, we can sit here. He's like, you don't have to do that. And, like, he's not looking. Isaac's not looking, and Dracula kind of just gets him and throws him through and then takes it away, like, you're not coming back. Type of Infinity War beat when Cull Obsidian jumps through the portal and then he turns around and tries to get back.
Worst part is there's a better Marvel one he could have done from the same character in his movie. Where Doctor Strange had those crazy portals, he goes literally to a desert, and Strange just, you're standing there now.
that is perfect. That was the first one that popped.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Isaac kind of puts together this thing where he's like, I'm going to create an army, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to kill Hector. Because he figures out halfway, he kills that Viking guy. Because the Viking vampire kind of starts questioning Dracula, and he just murders him. Isaac's like, you're dead.
Fair enough.
And then Isaac figures out that Hector is going to go against him, and he brings it up to Dracula, and they figure it out, and they kind of, like, play it safe. Uh-huh. And then Isaac's like, I'm going to go kill Hector, because he got my man killed. Because everybody knows when Dracula dies, because there's this huge explosion and stuff. And Isaac makes this war effort, and he just starts creating these night creatures. That's happening there. Belmont and Sypha are in this town with this judge, and these people are, like, there's these really weird church people that believe in, like, the bringing back of Dracula and stuff like that. Because as soon as Dracula goes, everybody wants to bring him back. They're dealing with that. Then Hector is in Carmilla's castle, and she has a quartet. It's her and 3 vampire ladies that work with her. They're like all these female vampires that run this big area.
Well, good job, Hector.
Yeah. No, he is a prisoner. They have him locked up naked. He ain't got nothing. They're just throwing water on him, and they throw a piece of bread at him. Poor Hector. But then Hector gets manipulated by the really cute diplomacy vampire lady.
Of course.
And then eventually he ends up becoming their slave at the end of the season. Sypha, Belmont, they run into his character, Saint Germain. They deal with him. He has this thing, an infinite doorway, and they deal with all that. I'm not going to get too much into it. But they do that. Isaac tries to bring... He needs to go across water, so he needs a ship. He gets this, like, Cajun... I don't know where to set this accent, but it's this black dude. And he's, like, talking to him. He's like, well, if you have the money, I'll take you across. He has this accent. And he kind of grows by talking to this dude. And I haven't watched season 3 in so long. I don't remember what they talk about, but I remember the interaction was so good. Whenever Isaac is on screen, it's so good. He's learning that, like, not everybody is horrible, but some people will just do nice things because they do nice things. The thing where Isaac's evolution is, not everybody has to die, but there are horrible people that are going to make you think that everybody should. Yeah. But you need to realize is that not everybody has to die, and that you can make these nice things, and you can be... Everybody can do good. If you can encourage good, everybody can be good. So that's kind of his whole thing. And the last couple episodes, Alucard was sitting at home, and these 2 people came by, and they're like, we're trying to hunt down... It was one of the people in Dracula's court. Like, we're trying to kill this lady. She left. We got free. We're coming to kill her because she killed a bunch of our people. It was like this Japanese vampire. And they're obviously these 2 Asian kids. And he's like teaching them how to fight, showing them magic. And they don't trust him because he's part vampire. But they don't show that until this last episode. Then they, gonna keep it PG, they come in with no clothes. And they like try to seduce him by naughty bits and stuff. And then they lock him up. They lock him up and strap him up to where he can't do anything, and they're gonna kill him. They're like, you're holding stuff back from us. And he's like, I'm really not. I'm with you. And they just wouldn't believe him. So he ends up murdering them.
Oh.
So, which sucked because he really grew an attachment to these guys. And you can see it, and it kind of sucks for him. Isaac ends up going to this place where this woman, which I don't know who she was, they don't say specifically, it's just this woman who's very powerful with like magic and stuff.
Okay.
She's like, everybody in this town was taken. This wizard mind controls them. And he has them doing everything that he wants over at this place. You should go and save them. You have the capability. And he goes, and this wizard, like, he's running up the tower to get the wizard, and the dude just, all these mind control people, they just come up, and like a big clump of people coming through the windows, like
Wait
just
a minute.
trying, yes, like just like that. They come together into a ball, and they're floating, coming through the things, trying to kill Isaac to keep him from getting.
I'm
to the
trying
wizard.
to think of like, because I know I have like some sort of like thing to parallel this to, but I can't think of it.
Imagine Toy Story 3 when all of the monkey
Yes.
barrels come together.
Yes.
It's like that.
What?
Yes, and Isaac's
Ooh.
running up the tower. He kills the wizard, and all the people, right? They're there, and then they all just start falling from the sky, which is horrible that all those people died.
Yeah.
But then Isaac's like, looks around, he's like, well, and he grabs his knife and he starts making night creatures because this is just to open up his army.
Shit!
You need dead bodies to make the night creatures. So he starts doing that. And that's what we see. That's
that sounds
end
cool.
of Isaac. Sypha and Saint Germain and Belmont, they're doing their thing. These crazy people have kept this night creature. They're doing stuff, opening up the infant. A whole thing happens. Basically, you see Dracula. They attempt to bring it back. It doesn't work. Germain goes into the infinite loophole or whatever it was, their infinite doorway, and it blows up and everything's done. We find out the judge was actually a horrible person. And we find at the end, he said, there was this kid at one point. He's running around and he hits him and he's like, don't run in my town. And his whole thing is that he's run this town for forever and he runs a tight ship. And he's like, there's actually a spot out by a tree. There's apples there. If you're hungry and you want an apple, go ahead and go out there. And that's the last we see of it. And then at the end, the judge gets killed. He's dying. He's like, go out. This is where the leader that was controlling the church, he told him to go out by this area. And then we go out there and we figure out that it's actually out by this tree is a death pit. So he sent that kid to go die, and he has been killing those people. They go back to his house, and there's like shoes and stuff of all the people he's murdered. Easily could be like 100 people he's killed.
That's concerning.
Well, he's dead now.
Oh yeah.
The whole town gets burnt because they had to do a soul sacrifice to open up a thing to get Dracula back. Everybody in the town is murdered. Literally, the only people left are Belmont and Sypha. It's a horrible, horrible thing. They couldn't do anything, and you can see it affects them going into the end of the season. Hector gets turned into a slave by the one that was seducing him. And that's basically what happens with Hector. Then we finally get to season 4.
Okay.
Last thing. The reason Isaac went to the magician also is because he had a teleporting mirror. And he needed that to get to where he needed to go.
Okay.
So not only saving these people, he also needed that. So we open up that season, and it's like 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago. Every time it's just showing Belmont and Sypha beating up these horrible people trying to bring Dracula back. They see this statue of death itself, and they're like, people were really they were gonna kill these kids to sacrifice them. Like, that's what they believe. Stuff like that, just a throwaway thing.
I'm convinced nothing in this is actually throwaway.
Sometimes it is. And then they're going through all the way back to the original town where I told you the Pope or whatever that guy was out there. They go to that original town to see what's going on because that's the first town that got hit by the night creatures, and that's where their story takes place in this season. In the original town that got tore apart, and that it's still like a town that it doesn't function. It's in disarray. Everybody's dying, but
this is the original town that Dracula was just like, you need to leave.
You burned my wife in this town. Like they even show the original stake where she was burned. Like it's still all there.
Continue.
So Simon and Sypha are there. There's a vampire trying to win. He's trying to bring back Dracula. It's the original town. He's going to give it to him as a gift. That's what he says. So that's basically the big overarching thing for a couple of our stories is were trying to bring back Dracula. We go to Alucard.
Okay.
He took the 2 bodies at the end of season 3. He took the... It's turning off.
Now it's too hot.
So sorry, no more camera. We can't get it to stay on.
I can't with this. We're gonna
have to figure something out. We go back to Alucard at the end of season 3. He put the 2 people that tried to kill him on stakes out front of his house. And then we open season 4. There are now more stakes with more dead people because now he doesn't trust anybody. So there's these rotting corpses on spikes out front. That's how they show how much time has passed. Well, he's outside taking a wee, taking a pee-pee.
Yes.
And this horse comes up with this
Really
guy
nice
on
one.
it.
Maybe.
The guy is dead. He was out. He has a wound on his abdomen. He's gone. But taped to his hand is a message that said, "The Alucard," and then he's like, "The Alucard." Why am I the? We have a problem.
It means you're important, first of all.
We have a problem. These night creatures are attacking us. We can't keep defending ourselves. Please help.
The reverse Dracula.
Yeah, so he's like, okay. And then he ends up going. And we get there. He kills these night creatures. And he's talking to the main girl. And then you hear a familiar voice. And then out of the bathroom comes Saint Germain. The last time we saw Saint Germain, he jumped into the infinite portal. Or the infinite doorway. And was gone. So just seeing Saint Germain in the bathroom of this place by Alucard's place, it's like, why is Saint Germain here? What's going on? They go into it. Saint Germain went into the portal. He was going to look for his wife because he lost his wife in there. That's why he was going in there in the first place. She left, apparently. This person that's in there tells him. She's like, I'm an alchemist. You're an alchemist. You've lost your way. You need to kill all these people to be able to control the infinite doorway. You watched the creature do it to get in here. He killed all those people. You need these souls to navigate it, which is all true. That's how you need it.
Last I checked, human alchemy is just always a bad idea.
I'm going to say, yeah, that's what he needed. She convinced him to be horrible and be like, you need to not care about these people. So he ends up like killing people, taking things from them. And now we know he's here. We don't know why he's at this place, but we know he's here because he's trying to open the doorway. Come to find out, he's working with the vampire over where Belmont is to bring back Dracula because he needs a creature to control the doorway for him so he can go find his wife. And that's what they're going to bring Dracula back into a body to control the doorway.
Okay.
So
this makes sense.
They're doing that. We cut back to Isaac. Not only has Isaac turned a bunch of these people into night creatures, anybody's body who wasn't salvageable was buried and given a grave. So all the people, there's like thousands of people that probably weren't fit. They put them in graves. So there's these night creatures rebuilding this city. Like, doing good. And one of the night creatures can talk. It's a rare night creature, but he comes up and he's like, Isaac, I need to talk to you. What are we doing? We are built to destroy and kill. Why are we burying bodies? Well, if we don't, then flies and disease will infect the city and they won't be inhabitable. Like, why do we care? He's like, why do you care? He's like, here, have a berry. He's like, I don't eat berries. I eat meat. He's like, try a berry. Like, you don't have to follow your nature. We can be better. And you see this, like, Isaac has finally stopped being this, I want everybody to die, to, I want to leave this better for someone else. I want to start rebuilding. I want to start doing good so maybe more people will be good.
I love that.
Isaac is the best character in the show, without a doubt. And he's so good, but he gets the least amount of screen time, and it kind of sucks. But when he's there, you're enthralled when he's there. Has that conversation. He goes back to his place. He's like, I really have changed. Because the guy says to him, he's like, you have changed. He's like, we all change. And he's like, change is not bad, or whatever he goes. He's talking to himself. We go to Hector. Hector was very upset he got enslaved. But Hector...
I imagine most people would be.
Hector is now their forge master. Because their idea was to enslave him so he would make night creatures for him. He starts making night creatures, but he's actually been laying a trap all around Carmilla's castle. He's also working with Saint Germain and the vampire to bring back Dracula. Because he feels like, I need to bring back Dracula for betraying him. I feel bad. So he's doing that.
I feel bad.
Finally, that all happens. Isaac, like, a bunch of stuff happens there. Back in... There's a plot with Belmont and Sypha. It's their worst plot yet. It's really... There's this guard who's played by Valkyrie from Thor. I think it sounds just like her.
Okay,
And
that would be Tessa Thompson.
Yeah, they even make her character look like her. Like, you think it's her.
Okay.
And then there's an underground society in the catacombs because we couldn't live above ground because of the night creatures. The royal family lived. Come to find out, the royal family didn't live. They died. But she has them down there worshiping dead bodies and stuff. It's really weak. And every time they're on the screen, I'm like, all right, let's move on.
Okay.
Which sucks, but it's the only bad part of the season.
Yeah, I mean, that happens.
We jump forward a bunch. And Alucard's has decided it's not safe to stay in this village. We're going to go back to my castle. This is where we find out you need to be at the exact place somebody died to bring them back. So Saint Germain knew that Dracula died in his castle, so he needs to get to the castle. That's why he recommends they go back to the castle because it's safer. He is working with these other vampires, and it's all this way to just get to Alucard's room, which is where Dracula died, and he's going to get all of this stuff in there so he can bring back Dracula. He goes ahead and does it. Everything goes right for Saint Germain. He gets it right. Yeah. He's opening everything. He orchestrated the night creature attacks to get all the people into one village and then back into the castle. So when they all died, when they raid the castle, he could feed to get into the infinite doorway.
Okay.
So Saint Germain does this whole thing. We come through, the vampire finds a mirror in where Simon and Sypha are, and he gets to where Saint Germain is. And it comes through that they have this body that they're going to put Dracula and his wife in, because you need a person in one body that's both genders. I don't know why. It's just what they decided. And it's sick. It's kind of cool the way they do it. So they get him, and it comes...
So with both parts or with no parts?
Yes, both parts.
Okay.
So...
Gives a whole new meaning to go fuck yourself.
The vampire comes through. Germain is talking to him. He's like, we've never met before. What do you mean? Forms into the girl he saw in the infinite doorway. He's like, what? And then she forms, and it's Death himself. And he says, I need Dracula back. He was going to kill everyone. He was going to give me so much to eat. Because of when people die, he was going to feed.
Fair enough. I like that reveal.
He's the worst character because he's this omnipotent god, but he just says the F word a bunch of times. I don't he calls them F'ers and stuff it sucks. It takes away from him being this god-like character. I don't need him to talk like Simon or Trevor does. Because Trevor's this, I hate the world, but whatever. I'm going to work on Monday, I hate my life type of thing. And it's it works for him, but not for this omnipotent god-like character that you've introduced. So we get they do that. Simon and Sypha follow them through the thing. Alucard, Simon, and Sypha, we get another battle scene with all three of them together, reminiscent to Season 2 when they fight Dracula. It's absolutely sick. At the same time, Isaac finally got his army, went through to Carmilla's castle, starts killing everybody. Going through. He gets to Hector. Hector locks up the girl, the one vampire that liked him. He actually grew to like her. He actually cares for her. He might have been getting manipulated, but he does have feelings for her. He doesn't want her to get hurt. Locks her up in a cage. Isaac walks in, and Hector's like, well, this is where I go. And Isaac opens up, goes into the cage, and Hector's like, don't kill her. Just come kill me. Don't do nothing to her. She didn't do anything. So Isaac comes out, and he's like, hello, Hector. And they start talking. Hector's like, well, if you want to kill me. But he apologizes for getting manipulated and helping Dracula die. And Isaac's like, I'm not going to kill you, Hector. And at this point, I'm shocked. I thought that was the whole point. He's like...
But he's a better man,
He's like, you were manipulated, and I'm not mad at you for it. I was shocked they did that. I really didn't... I thought they were going to kill Hector, kill Carmilla, and then Isaac gets to start anew. He gets his revenge. He's like, revenge is for kids. We're not kids anymore, Hector. We've both grown. I can tell. So he works with Hector, and Hector tells him, he's like, well, I'm working to bring back Dracula. And Isaac's like, we don't have to worry about that. The guy most loyal to Dracula's like, let him rest. He did what he needed to do. The more I look back on it, Dracula might not have been doing the right thing.
You think?
Yeah. And he's like, let him rest.
Damn.
And Hector's like, what? So Hector's blown back. Then we get this sick scene where Isaac goes up and fights Carmilla, and Carmilla is bad ass. She is cutting people up. She is sick. Isaac fights her, and Isaac wins. this whole time, the whole thing was, if we get Hector to make the night creatures for us, we can take over all of Dracula's land and become this mega overlord. So 2 of the quartet left. They actually are in love with each other. They're a gay couple. The whole time they're out on their journey, they're like, Carmilla has done this to us again. Again, she's roped us into this scheme. And they have that whole kind of conflict the whole time, like, do we really need to do this? And they start coming back because Carmilla said, Hector's finally making night creatures. I don't need you guys out there anymore. You can come home. So they start coming back. As Isaac kills Carmilla kills herself because she doesn't want Isaac to kill her.
Fair enough.
She kills herself. She explodes. And then they are right on the ridge where they can see the castle. And she's like, we've been attacked? And she's like, yeah. She's like, do you know that feeling? You know who that was? She's like, yeah, Carmilla's dead. Should we take back the castle? I don't think we have the numbers to deal with all the night creatures there. She's like, what do you want to do? She's like, I think we're done. And they both walk away. They're like, we're going west. And they just give up. She's like, do you think the other one's alive? The one that Hector likes? She's like, if Carmilla died, the other one's dead too. So they just assume that her sister's dead because she was like the dainty one that doesn't really do much. So they just walk away to go start anew. Just them two. Which is really nice because you see their love for each other in both of the seasons, and they're so cute together. They're like, every time you see them, you don't see them as Carmilla and they're the enemy. You're like, these characters are so sweet.
Yeah.
So
you want to see them be happy.
That's what happens. Isaac is like, I'm gonna run my stuff through here. This is gonna be my castle, and we're gonna start rebuilding and making everything nice. And that's kind of how they button that up. Hector works with him. Hey, he said, what do you want, Hector? He's like, I just want a nice place to live. Me and Lucille, or whatever her name is, Loretta, whatever the other vampire's name is, I can't remember. And then at the end, the girl is like, I don't know, Hector. I think I'm finally going to go and see what this sunlight thing is all about, what you keep telling me about. And she's like, Hector, I can't be locked up here. I can't do it. And she walks out, and Hector's like, no, stop. And she's like, it's okay, Hector. I don't want to be around anymore.
But she's a vampire.
And then she looks at the sun, right, as it's coming up. And she turns back around to Hector. This is the best line of the show. I cried. She's like, is that it? That's all it is? And as she ends her sentence, dusted. And she's dead.
Really? Really?
I really didn't want her to die. But
is that it?
Yeah. So they go back to Belmont. Well, we're back at Belmont, Alucard, and Sypha. Belmont does a one-on-one versus Death. And Death is like big now because he's absorbed all the deaths of the people instead of it going into the gateway. It's in him. So he's this huge thing now. And Belmont's fighting him. You saw earlier on in the season he had this dagger. And he's like, really, they have this? Because they were just taking stuff in the catacombs, just taking stuff out of the treasury.
Yep.
And he's like, it was a suicide pact dagger thing. And he ends up suiciding with Death. And he blows Death up. And then he died because of suicide pact. And
okay, I've gathered how this works.
Yeah, and then Sypha.
It's weird, but okay.
They cut to right about the end. Sypha finally wakes up after like being out for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And Alucard's now with the girl who ran the town that he went to go save. They kind of like each other, so now they're going to be a thing.
They're over a strike.
Yeah. Oh well, they siphoned. I skipped the part. They siphoned all the souls into this body. Dracula came back. Dracula and his wife were in one body, and then Belmont comes in and kills the thing before they can get to do anything with it, and it explodes. That's how Death gets all the souls and stuff, because it's not in the body anymore, it's in him.
Yep.
So, Sypha is like, I'm going to go back and rejoin the caravan. I can't be... I just gotta go back. That was me and Trevor's plan. And Alucard's like, you can stay here. She's like, I can't just be me. Like, he's like, well, we're going to start a village. All the village is going to move to Dracula's castle. And they're going to keep a village around the castle. And she's like, but what are you going to call it? And she's like, we thought about calling it Belmont. Because Trevor died, and they're going to call it Belmont. Because it's right over the Belmont hold. That's where they're going to have the schools and stuff, they said. She's like, oh. And then she's like, I think I'll stay. And then, just like the beginning, the horse that brought in the rider has a body on it. And they pull it off, and it's Trevor. And Trevor lived. Apparently, Saint Germain opened up. He had the key to the doorway in his hand. Apparently, he opened up the doorway right before he died, and he let Trevor get out instead of dying in the suicide pact. And the horse found him by the river. And then they all come back, and then Trevor and Sypha live all together happy for the rest of their lives. And
Until next season.
Yeah. Well, no, it's done.
Okay.
I think we're officially done. The sweetest thing is they show you these two people running through the rain in this town. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to be the two girls. The two, Carmilla and her other two people. And I'm like, yeah, because one was really big and one was really tiny. I'm like, all right, that's what and then I saw the gray. I'm like, okay, yeah, so it's got to be them. I'm like, damn, they just gave up on the soldiers that they had. They just went to go start a life. And then you see Dracula's wife walks up and is like, we need a room for Vlad and whatever name, Tepesh. And Dracula and his wife are back alive. Apparently they just woke up in a field from getting their souls dragged from hell, and they woke up in their bodies in a field, and they just decide they're going to go on living their lives traveling. They even are like, well, we can't go back and see our son. He needs closure. But maybe one day we'll go and see him. He's like, yeah, one day, but it's going to take time. Because now he thinks his dad's dead because he had to kill his dad.
Yeah.
Alucard did. So
The reverse Dracula.
yeah, so it was a very good show. Please go. I know I just explained the whole thing, but I didn't do it justice. You should really need to
it
go
sounds
watch it.
No,
crazy.
you make it very intriguing to watch. I'm very excited.
Oh,
to
it's
show
so
this.
good.
Just you talking about Isaac is like, oh, I feel like I need
All
to
of the
see
Isaac
that.
stuff is. If they could give me a show that's just Isaac,
Really.
it's all sick. Isaac does so much cool stuff.
So who the fuck are we?
I don't know. Who the fuck are we? We're a couple idiots is what we are.
I came up. I'm gonna take credit for all this idea because it was my idea.
I mean, it was.
Yeah. So
No disputes.
I thought it might be a good idea to, for those who don't know us, you kind of know Zach. He has the following. He has the draw.
I have the 2.
Yeah.
He has the most
Okay.
things online about him. I thought it might be a good idea to try to get more intimate with the viewers. You just getting to know us asking each other questions, explaining things that we like, certain things, hypotheticals, anything. This is a character building episode.
Yeah, and that's really important because Tanner and Bobby, you guys really don't have social media presences that much. Bobby has a little bit with his music. Tanner has none.
I have none. I have absolutely none. I'm an enigma.
Yeah, the only rule that we have with questions is no superlatives, which is just.
I just find
That's fucking
different ways to
bullshit.
word it so it isn't what's your favorite. I'm just gonna.
But I think that's
just
fine.
gonna ask it.
Like saying something like, "What superheroes do you enjoy?" instead of "Who's your favorite superhero?" That's a conversation versus just like Superman. Like
So, first question: if you had one meal to eat for the rest of your life, what's it gonna be?
I have this one laid out. Go ahead, Zach.
you have. If I want you to go, if you have it
Because
laid
I don't
out.
think he has an
All
answer.
right,
Go ahead.
don't.
So like,
These are all blind. We don't have these pre-thought of. This is all
Yeah,
genuine reactions.
We're going off the cuff.
all right. So my parents are pretty great cooks. I don't know if you've ever had their food. I know you've had some
I've had it.
burgers, probably. Oh yeah, you've had whatever.
Yeah.
You know, my dad's pretty
Some
good
part.
on the grill. So shut the fuck up. So my dad's pretty
It's
good
like
on the
that.
grill.
It's like that white American dad that thinks he's really good at grilling, but then like you have actually good grill and barbecue, and you realize that it's terrible. Like
No, I grew up with it, so obviously I'm gonna like it.
Everybody's mom's the best cook.
So
what is it? What
So my
Yes.
dad gets this steak from the meat store, and like they season it so well. He cooks it like a little bit more than medium rare, but like it's still pretty rare.
So medium.
So, but not though.
Oh, okay.
it
you
sounds
know-
like
you
said
know what I'm
medium's
trying-
The rare side.
So medium.
It's
rare.
more on the rare side. It's medium rare, but like, I'm just trying
Light
to describe it. So you've got steak, and then my mom makes beautiful mashed potatoes. She almost boils the potatoes first and does all of that instead of mashing and then whatever. It's just the way that she makes it is freaking fantastic. So I would have mashed potatoes and steak and
and potatoes.
corn on the cob.
There you
'Cause,
go.
like-
that's a nice
There you
country
go.
dinner. I love that.
Yeah.
I'll give it to him.
How about you over here?
So I had a chance to think about it with him saying
Yeah.
it, and I do have an answer now.
All right, go ahead.
So I haven't had this in a long time, and maybe that's why. Maybe I'm craving it a bit. I don't know if y'all ever get meat and stuff from the Amish market.
No.
So one of the things, and I've only ever found this at an Amish market, is they call it a ham loaf. Basically, it's a meat loaf, but it's ham product.
Yeah.
I haven't had this in so long, but you put it in the oven, you bake it just like you would cook a regular meatloaf, cover it in the pineapple glaze. So I would want that as the main thing, and then on it. Now, every family, it seems like, have this, especially every white family has this, where like their family just has like the best mac and cheese recipe in the world. But I'm here to
But,
tell you
like,
that my
it's
dad actually
not-
has the best
Oh,
mac and
okay.
cheese recipe in the
like,
world.
But like,
So-
is it dry? Like, it's
Is
got-
what?
the mac and cheese? Like,
No.
Some
okay.
baked mac and cheese is some people that when they bake their mac and cheese, it's very dry.
Yeah.
See, this is
my
like-
family bakes it dry, and I fucking hate it.
This is why this is like news to me, because it's always like it's incredibly cheesy and moist. Like I don't know how to make it, so I know you guys haven't had it because I have never gotten the chance to make it.
Yeah.
with that. And I guess like the second side doesn't really matter. Like I guess loose cord would be fine because it goes with the ham and mac and cheese. But like it's really the ham loaf and the mac and cheese.
There you go. Sick.
Fair enough.
It's
those
really
are
good.
two,
I
those
haven't
are
had
two
it
like
so long,
completely different things too.
Yeah.
That
But,
we
like the
chose.
pineapple glaze really gets it too. It's like,
It is. Ooh.
It's really good. So do you have an answer for
Tanner,
me?
yeah.
do.
What is your answer?
I make my own favorite meal. Now, most people that know me would, if my girlfriend would even say, my favorite meal is a burger, the meal that I'd eat for the rest of my life is probably, I could eat a burger every day for the rest of my life. I could live off
That's
of that.
understandable.
But my favorite meal, I make it myself, it's my chicken parm. My mom taught me, we bred our own chicken tenders.
I'm so
and
happy
we
with
make-
a legit answer.
We make chicken tenders, but we make them into little chicken parms.
Okay.
And then I put them on potato buns, like cheeseburgers or like a hot dog roll. And I have chicken parm sandwiches. And then I have spaghetti with it. And it's so good. Nothing special with the spaghetti. Just our regular, just ragu sauce, regular angel hair. And I'll tell you what, I make a mean chicken parm, boy.
That sounds good.
It
so
is really
I just
good.
had a thought. Can I add something?
Yeah,
to
go
my
ahead. Go
background?
crazy.
This will be
Go
in instead of the corn. This is going to be a bit weird because technically it's 2 starches, but something that my family does, and this is something that I would have rarely until eventually my grandfather passed away, and then my dad started doing it. It's called a twice baked potato.
Yes. They're
Yes.
fantastic.
Phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
like you just talking about that,
They're
it
bang,
made me think. I
bang,
was like,
bang.
oh, that's great. Yeah, just you bake a potato and then you cut them in half. You scoop out the potato, at least the way we do it. Then we mix it up like sour cream, everything that you would get on a loaded baked potato, and then you put it in and you bake it again. And like
So
it's just
good.
it's really good.
Okay.
Both of you. The prompt is you're on a desert island, and
Okay.
you're going to be stuck there for the next 10 years. You can bring 3 things with you. You already have unlimited food. You already have unlimited water.
Okay.
Okay.
3 things to take with you. Go.
I like that you added the caveat that we're stuck there for 10 years, so I can't ask for a boat so I could leave. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good caveat. You really are doing this question
I've thought about
justice.
that question many times when I've
Yeah.
asked it.
A basketball court, and a comfy chair. It's real
Are
simple.
you going to sleep in the comfy chair?
That's the plan. I just don't I don't feel like dealing with a generator for electricity, and I absolutely adore basketball. I could play basketball till the day I die. So that's just my pick.
So I agree
Real
with you
simple.
on that thing. As far like the generator always seems like the thing to go with, but whenever you do a generator, you need to have some sort of caveat with it, which is just like this for the like it's just easier to not do that. So I'm gonna do some other weird caveat stuff because why the hell not? I would want like a notebook and a pen, but like one that isn't gonna run out of ink on me.
You're saying I'd want a notebook with unlimited paper.
Yeah.
A pen with unlimited ink.
Yeah,
I
or
would
if not,
consider writing supplies as one of the things that you can take.
I'll take that and have another thing. Because I want to be able one of my biggest outlets, even if it's like random, is to create random ass things. That's why like I have my phone has like this whole part of it to where it's like you need to delete files, and I was like, yeah, but I might use those notes for something. And then I was ready to just load up on that. I guess I would want. This is a bit of like a weird thing that I really enjoy. I would want a copy of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Either whether that's just the pocket one of the first book or the ultimate edition with the main 5.
I think you get to choose whatever you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's your fantasy, man.
Oh my god. But I love that.
Do you think that it would get annoying after 10 years, though?
The thing about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is it's annoying when you start.
42.
So it's like reading or watching Scott Pilgrim, but we love it so much.
Exactly. No, you're perfectly on point with
Okay,
that.
awesome.
Oh god, and then for a third thing, I was counting on doing the one thing separate. How about just a pillow? Because because listen,
but like a body pillow.
a body pillow and a weighted blanket.
No, you can only have one or the other.
Oh, but I can have a bunch of writing supplies. No,
You didn't say bed supply.
a bedding store, just a mattress
Just
store right there in the middle of the island.
But it's empty. It's just a mattress.
It's just a bunch of mattresses. Yeah, I think, and then a pillow or something like that would work good. Cool. I'm not good on like just a mattress. Like I can make
I
a thing.
get you.
I can make a bed out of sand and just have the pillow behind me.
I feel that. I really feel that.
What about you?
What about me? That is a. I didn't think this far.
As the question doesn't have an answer.
So what I would take, like unlimited writing supplies, if we're counting that as one thing.
Yeah.
You said you were, so.
Yep.
Yes. I would take my guitar, with unbreakable strings. So that
Understandable.
I never
Unlimited amount of picks too. I assume like the little pick thing.
yeah.
Like,
If you want to count that, like this is tough because, like a flashlight, like you've got so many things.
No, I thought about it.
You know what? You know what? No.
No. I'm not. I wasn't serious,
Unlimited
but-
roll of toilet paper.
Oh, but like
Leaves
but,
get
like,
Leaves get sucky after a while.
Why do we need to use leaves?
What are you gonna use to wipe?
shit
have
in
to.
the
They got
shit in
water
the
around
ocean. Yeah, it's like a bidet.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys are too. I live in a swamp, so I'm used to roughing it
It's like Shrek. Just never mind.
with my own.
A pair of polarized sunglasses. I have the worst eyes. Like
That is such a good pick.
It is a good pick.
It's
I'll
like
give it to you.
that's a thing. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna have my basketball, and I'm gonna be like, well, I guess I could just leave this basketball right here, block the sun. That's gonna.
because, like
I'm gonna have to make a straw hat that's a visor.
my,
I have to play
my
with
dad's
that.
the same way, but like every time I go outside and it's like either super bright or not even when I'm driving, like I've got to have them on. Unless it's like the morning when I'm driving to work, I can deal with that. But when it's sun's in the sky, noon, fuck no.
You got anything for us, there, Mr. Cat?
I do. I didn't do nearly as hypothetical as you guys did. I'm happy you guys brought stuff
Yeah.
like that.
I just
go a bit
came
personal.
up with that on the spot.
All right, go ahead.
So I didn't have an answer for it.
We all like superheroes here. It's part of the founding principle of this whole thing.
Yes, it is.
What character got you into it or made you fall in love with it?
Can I go first?
Yeah, you can go
I have a
first.
story. So,
Please.
I was a wee lad, and I knew of comics, and I enjoyed them because I grew up with Iron Man 1 and the Incredible Hulk and stuff like that, but I hadn't really fallen in love with anybody yet. There was a day once where little Tanner had fallen ill. He wasn't really ill, but he convinced his mom that he was ill so he didn't have to go to school. I believe it was either Netflix or On Demand. I didn't know if it was Netflix on the Wii or I had On Demand on TV. I found a movie, and I was like, I'm going to watch this movie. I watched it 3 times. This movie was Planet Hulk.
The animated one.
The animated movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I watched that movie 3 times. It was so good. That made me fall in love with the Hulk, made me fall in love with that storyline, and it made me love World War Hulk. When I got into the comics, I read that. It's also the reason I have such an affinity for Beta Ray Bill. 2 of my favorite. Hulk is 1, Beta Ray is anywhere between 2 and 5, depending on the day. That movie is so good. For an animated film based on the Hulk, you don't go into it thinking it's going to be this grand thing. The opening scene alone, where he wakes up to the video of the Illuminati telling him, we can't trust you to be here anymore, you're too dangerous, and him just freaking out and then causing the thing to go into a black hole, it's so good.
So how does... Because I haven't watched it, but I know about the Planet Hulk story. Where does it end off on?
What do you mean?
Like, I assume it doesn't...
At the end of the movie, he frees everybody from the slave discs. He kills the ruler. The ruler was sending these horrible things to kill people on Sakaar. The Hulk exposes him for being horrible. They figure it out. He kills him. He takes over as king. Basically, just how the comic goes, but it doesn't go to the point to where
that's why
it
I was
leads
asking.
into World War Hulk.
Yeah.
This movie just ends.
The shuttle doesn't explode and...
Yeah, no. I think they knew they probably weren't going to get another movie.
they weren't
but
counting
we're
on that happening, so it just ends on the happy note.
Yes, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's so good. Watching Hulk fall in love with the high guard that guards the king, it's so cool. Watching somebody that looks kind of normal fight the Hulk and make the Hulk bleed is so cool. Watching the Hulk's blood hit the ground and cause life, I'm telling you, you should go watch it. I don't think you've seen it.
I have not.
You need to go watch it. That should be one of our movie nights. It's very, very good.
Bet.
What about you, buddy?
You guys are gonna make fun of me so
I'm
hard.
not gonna
I've
make fun of you.
never
You're not gonna-
told you this.
He just fell over a thing over an animated movie. Like,
That's what kicked it all off.
So, I was never into superheroes when I was very young. I was more into sports stuff. And
it sounds like I was the only one here who was into superheroes when they were very, very young.
yeah. When
Right,
I was
like
a
I started
kid,
talking.
Star Wars was my shit. I knew
There you go.
everything about Star Wars. But if we're talking comics, we're talking superheroes. Fantastic Four. The movie.
The films?
The films.
The original one? I was going to go with that. I was going to talk about
I'm
that.
not going to hate on you for that because I loved those
kids.
movies
Yeah,
as a kid.
as a kid, those movies were fantastic.
The Human Torch was
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. He was my favorite, and I was Human Torch for Halloween one year, like when I was really young. Cool. I've got pictures.
Like, if it makes you feel any better, there were so many times as a kid where I would do like the snap my fingers thing to try to make a flame on my thumb. Like,
dude,
like I used to do that all the time. You're not alone in this sort of thing.
So how many of us had Hulk hands or Thing hands as a kid?
Oh, you know I did. I was the Thing one year for Halloween. We'll find you those pictures.
So did you have the Thing hands or the
Yeah.
Hulk hands?
I had both.
My mom didn't get me
1.2.
Hulk hands because I was the youngest, and I would punch the shit out of everybody if I got
I had
them.
Hulk hands and moon boots.
We don't have time for moon shoes on this one.
Yeah, moon shoes, that's what they were.
Ding, ding.
All right, go ahead.
I got two things here. Me and my dad used to watch the original Christopher Reeves Superman movie when I was really little.
Okay.
This is where some of my love for Superman also comes from. But really what got me into it was the Spider-Man movies, because he sat me down to watch 1 and 2. And then he actually pulled me out of school to go see 3 in the theaters. Now, with my adult eyes, I see how 3 looks now, but like as a kid being pulled out of school to go see Spider-Man, my first comic books that I got was the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man line, and it was Spider-Man arc that happened right after Civil War, the Back in Black storyline, which, if you're wondering, was originally in tandem to go with the movie to put him in a black suit.
Okay.
But those were the first comics that I had. Eventually I stopped getting those, and even like after then, later on, I started getting Amazing Spider-Man comics. Like, it was Spider-Man for me. Until I properly got into comics, it was Spider-Man the whole time. Like, I have the old toys. It was a wrist-mounted thing that you could put silly string in and then do the Spider-Man thing and spray the silly string everywhere. I had that. I loved the Fantastic Four movies.
Everyone had that.
Yeah, so I started with the Spider-Man. Like, and fully in minutes now, I've gone back and I've watched those movies. They have some issues, but those were that's my origin story there. And of course, I got love for Superman later. Again, the original movie me and my dad watched was the Christopher Reeve Superman, which is still amazing if you're wondering. He took me in IMAX to go see Superman Returns. Like, if you're wondering why it's always Superman and Spider-Man with me, it's because of that entanglement in there.
Aside from what we do here at Kaiju and Comics,
Yep.
What do you guys do? Like, what is the shit that you love that isn't comic related, that isn't superhero related, that isn't
So if I'm
any
not
of this?
watching a Godzilla film, I'm not exploring comics, I'm not playing comic related video games, stuff like that. I'm a big sports guy. I watch soccer and basketball mainly. I'm a New York Knicks fan. I'm also SL Benfica fan, a Portuguese team for soccer. I have said though, being a Knicks fan, I'm a big Supersonics fan. I'm a student of the game. I love the history. If Seattle ever got a team again, that would be my team. I would leave the Knicks. I love the Knicks. I fell in love with the Knicks with Linsanity. That's when I got introduced. Linsanity, for those who don't know, is where this Asian dude was a point guard on the Knicks, and he took over the NBA for like 3 months. He was absolutely fantastic, and then he kind of fell off. But it was just crazy to watch this dude come in and average like 35 points. And that's what made me love basketball. But usually I'm playing basketball, I'm watching basketball, I'm watching soccer, I'm playing FIFA, stuff like that. And I'm working. And I love doing that. I love debating. Like sports debates. Like, if any of my ramblings from our 5-minute intermissions ever get on, you'll say I love debating sports. Like Jordan, LeBron, who's the GOAT, whatever it is. And I watch a little bit of NFL. I don't watch a little bit of NFL. I don't watch it. I watched it a lot as a kid. I'm a Bears fan, so that's why I don't watch it. Now you know. And I might have to start watching it because we actually have a decent quarterback now. Hopefully, he's not a bust. But that's about it. It's really sports oriented. I'm working. That's about it. I'm not gonna. Oh, big music head. I'm always listening to rap. Rap music also. I'm a huge hip hop head. When hip hop evolution I was talking about, I love that show. I've rewatched it now 3 or 4 times now. Oh my god, I love it. I love rap music. I love the history. I love the way it flows, how it sounds. If anybody cares, I would say my greatest rapper of all time is Lil Wayne. The wordplay, the consistency, and the just never since he came out, he's just been super good. The word, oh my gosh, all my G's come with science like lasagna. It's just so good. Plus, I think it's also your GOAT is always who you grow up with. I grew up with Lil Wayne. Yeah. So, and same with that. I don't think Eminem's a GOAT, but I grew up with Eminem and stuff. I don't think he's better than Lil Wayne. But
give that one too.
Other people had Jay and Dre and all them. But for me, 50 Cent, like, for me, is Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is my guy. Lil Wayne almost made my 5 people around, but I was like,
what is it about Lil Wayne?
what? I would just explain.
Yeah, he explained it all.
I'm so sorry. I'll listen back to
wordplay, the flow, the consistency.
Okay, I was gonna say his voice is
for him.
like...
He basically ran mixtapes for forever, where he would just, it wouldn't be cohesive enough for a project, so he just put out a mixtape, and everything was fire. His ability on dedications, it's his mixtape series, to take other people's beats, whether they from his label or whatever he got permission to take those beats and I think enhance them and make it a better song every time is phenomenal. That might be me being a Lil Wayne stan, but like,
that's fine.
Like Drowning by a Boogie with a Hoodie, that old song, he took the beat and took it, and I think it's a better song. Lil Wayne, just to everything he touches, he enhances, and I think it's phenomenal. And that's something I like. I like rap music and I like sports, along with my my kaiju and my comics.
Of course. Yeah. Am I going? Is that what?
Yeah.
No.
One of the main.
What are other than comics? You breathe.
I breathe.
You eat.
I eat. I work.
Yeah. Sometimes.
I edit.
And that's it. So Bobby, you want to go?
Oh my god. So one of the things I love bringing up is I'm really into like Japanese tokusatsu stuff. I tend to leave that out because really kaiju is a big part of that. Other stuff is like Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, and Power Rangers. That makes me, when I say Power Rangers, it makes me sound childish though. That's why I just call it tokusatsu.
A little bit.
There wasn't anything against it. I had to itch my
One of the big things that I'm into outside is actually, I am on record for agreeing with this line, so I'm going to say it back. As much as I love comics, as much as I love other stuff, there is no greater feeling in the world than watching a really good pro wrestling match. And I mean, like, as much as I love, like, if I think of, like, the best comics that I love the most, or I think of, like, the movies that I love the most, it doesn't give me that same feeling as CM Punk spreading Paul Bearer's ashes on The Undertaker, or watching HBK kick out at 2 one last time, or, I'm sorry, like, all of that stuff, or, like, Edge returning after being injured for almost 10 years.
I thought that was sick. I watched that movie.
Cried.
I was flabbergasted.
Like, that stuff just... And I can't explain it because I didn't grow up with it. Like, I started watching in 2012. I was graduating 8th grade. Like, I know you're still kind of a kid then, but that's not like watching Superman with my dad when I was like 5. Like, it's not that kind of stuff. But it's so ingrained that, like, even like the other day, NXT was on and I just turned it on. I don't remember the two guys' names, but I was so invested and enthralled in the story they were telling. They were fantastic, by the way. Of course,
sure they
like
are. NXT usually is pretty good.
Yeah, like it's just like the character building. It's like real life superheroes in a way. Like sometimes you're watching high spots, sometimes you're watching character building. It's so good, and one of the things that I love, especially with our friendship, is you see our interest bleed into each other.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say I have no knowledge of anything. Everything I know, I don't want to sound educated on the topic at all.
Yeah,
Zach has taught me everything. The way that he geeks out over this stuff, it is found in my place to where, like, I'm looking up wrestling stuff, like, on a semi-regular note. Like, I'll flip through, like, TikTok, and I'll see something about, like, The Undertaker, and I'll stop and watch it. Like, 5 years ago, that was not 2 years ago, that wasn't the case.
I was watching live when The Undertaker's streak ended, and I remember, like, it's such a visceral, and I don't want to use the word visceral memory, but, like, just, like, the ingrained memory of watching Brock Lesnar hit the 1 F5 and then hear the 1, 2, 3, and, like, you can go back and you can watch this now, but it's not the same. Like, it's not the same of being the where, like, well, Undertaker's gonna win. And the match wasn't that great. But, like, The Undertaker, he was 21-0. And he comes, and it's all scripted. And I know that. And that's not the point. Like, it's not about wondering who's gonna win a match, even though you think you know the answer. And hearing a hit, and then the 1, 2, 3 in the arena going silent. Like, just, like, wondering, is there something wrong? Was this supposed to happen? Or like one of my favorite WrestleMania memories besides that, WrestleMania 31, where it's going in, it's Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns in the main event. No one likes Roman Reigns because he was being super pushed. Brock Lesnar apparently is leaving, and he's been kind of like just showing up whenever he wants and just being like, we don't want either of these guys to win. First of all, those two being phenomenal wrestlers, which I've been on record in saying, putting on one hell of a match until finally... Oh god, Brock Lesnar gets Roman Reigns up tired, one more F5, hits it on the ground, and suddenly Seth Rollins is running down the ramp with his briefcase. You're like, wait, what? No one's ever cashed in Money in the Bank in the main event of WrestleMania. No one's ever cashed in during a title match. Cashes in. We have no idea what's going on. It's made a triple threat. Curb stomps Roman Reigns, pushes him out, goes to curb stomp Lesnar. Lesnar picks him up out of the air to hit an F5. Right before he hits it, Reigns, right in out of frame. Boom, spear. Lesnar's down, out of shot. Rollins being proven to Edge that he's the ultimate opportunist. Curb stomp, pins him for the title. Like I cannot
I'm
replicate
grinning so hard right now.
I cannot replicate what that feels like. And even like, for another example of someone who isn't me, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, one of the highest paid movie actors who was a wrestler before, has said that one of the reasons why he keeps going back for random appearances is because for him, there is nothing that gives him that feeling of when over the loudspeaker you hear, "If you smell," and he walks, he says there is nothing that gives him that feeling. I cannot explain it, but I love it so much to where, like, even when now I don't watch regularly, when January's coming up, I'm taking my day off to watch the Royal Rumble live. Like, I am every time. And like to give some other stuff, and like we talk about me bleeding over into him. Tanner has slowly started transferring me into someone who likes soccer.
Yeah.
There's a little dropped clip of us talking about it for a little bit. But he's slowly transferring that too. I listen to hip hop sometimes, even though that wasn't much my thing. I listen to a lot of music.
Venom.
But
No.
Sriracha.
I
put that
on everything.
I get into a lot of music. I just tend not to stick to a genre. If I do, it's always like pop punk or alternative. Which one of my questions, which I might not do, is going to be like, where do you consider your home music genre? Which if we want to, we kind of answered that.
I'll go into it because I didn't really cover.
But yeah, I want to give Bobby a chance to give his answer on what his question was before we go into that. So, Bobby, what do you think?
All right, Bobbert.
Well, like, no.
You don't have to give a long, outspoken thing. We just kind of geeked out. If you
you
just want to say, I do music, I like comics.
You guys already know I do music. Like, the people that are listening sort of know as well. But yeah, I do music and I play a lot of instruments. And I was the drum major for our marching band in high school, and so I was the cool guy.
Weird flex, but okay.
Weird flex, but okay.
That only works in South Jersey, by the way.
Yeah, right?
It's just because all of our football is shit.
Yeah. We did win state champions when I was like a freshman. I was like a freshman?
We did. We won.
Yeah, we won.
In New Jersey.
Oh, we were cool.
The worst state ever.
But not the point. Besides all of that, I also do theater, and I'm actually in, if anybody is listening and knows musicals, I'm in a show called Heathers, and I'm playing
Heathers what?
It's just called Heathers.
Oh, are you guys doing
Heathers what?
Bitch.
Got him.
Are you guys doing Heathers?
Yeah, we're doing Heathers at Cumberland Players.
I don't know why I have like such a hatred for that show.
It's
I feel like
so
someone...
good.
There's a lot of just really basic white girls that are like, oh my god,
Yeah,
I
think
love
that's
the
what's
Heathers.
done it, is where like,
Well,
it's just
like it's also a really fucked up show.
I can't.
Well, I'm playing a character called JD, and he's like a school shooter, and it's great. So,
Yeah.
So that's me.
That just makes
Oh gosh.
Anyway, like besides
You know what would happen
all of the
eventually.
music stuff that I do, I build shit. Like the studio you guys are in right now, I built everything to go inside of it. I know how to put shit together. My parents taught me a lot when I was younger, and I also do stage building, like for shows and shit.
He's a crafty lad.
I know how to put shit together. Like when I had a band in like 10th grade. Yeah, remember those days? Shut
The
the
single
fuck
is still on
up.
Spotify. I don't know what you're talking about.
It was great. Detained, Damaged, if you want to look it up on Spotify. It was great.
It's an okay
it's
song.
not a bad song, but it's not
It needs
a
to be
good
mixed
song.
differently, but it's okay.
I completely agree. The vocals need to get turned up, but it's fine. It's fine. We were in 10th grade. Anyway, so we
It's a cool thing
entered
to
a
have.
talent show, and one of the things was, okay, you need to be able to set your drum set up in like 1 minute, which anybody who does play drums knows that's impossible. So my smartass built a riser that could just roll onto the stage with the drum set, And my friends that were in the band were like, how did you do that? And I'm like, dude, it's like simple as putting a screw into a fucking thing. It's really easy.
One of like the foundation of mine and Bobby's friendships is that we both have this weird drive to create just in completely
And we
different
build
ways.
Legos!
Yes! So if you haven't ever seen Bobby before, I just want you to imagine, close your eyes right now. And I know when you were a kid, you watched this show. Don't lie to me. Just imagine Robert, but he's Bob, and he's a builder. That's what he looks like.
Stop.
He has a green backhoe that speaks in his backyard.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But no, yeah, that's what I do besides this. And I play video games, but like,
Sick.
yeah. Oh, we play D&D a lot. I'm very into D&D
Yeah,
when I have the
yeah,
time
we
for
do
it.
that.
They're very into D&D. I'm there to speak.
He shows up and rolls a d12 sometimes.
Yeah, that's about it. So, what's up? Who's up?
I think it's me, and I was going to ask the question of like, so we all like music. That's something that we're
Yes.
into. When it comes to music, they are genred. Some of us, I know I reach out very broad in mine. What do you guys, I know you guys do a little bit too. What do you consider to be like your home music genre? Like a place that you always go back to? You've kind of answered this.
Go ahead,
already.
music man. I'll go last.
Could you say that one more time? I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I
I'll do it.
have
So
something. I
where
have
do I
something.
usually find myself as my home music genre, my home where I feel most comfortable, I most enjoy it? Obviously, it's hip-hop and rap.
Yeah.
But more correctly, older boom bap type of rap. Like,
Okay.
maybe a little bit past Rapper's Delight and Run DMC. I do love Run DMC. My Adidas! Oh my gosh. But that old school type of rap is my favorite stuff. It's so good. Then, like, I grew up with Lil Wayne and This Wave. T.I. I really like. Lil Wayne, T.I. Newer guys, Denzel Curry is a real, because he reminds me a lot of older mixed with a new type of sound. I liked Chance the Rapper when he was good. I liked Kanye, because Kanye is just phenomenal in the music that he makes. I really like Yeezus, and a lot of people don't like it, but it's like, they criticize him for not innovating like he always was, but he took the genre music that was there and then made it Kanye, which I think just makes it fantastic. Imagine taking that regular hip-hop rap sound and then making it art. It's like, it really is, Kanye really is crazy, but it's like all spectrums of rap, but that old school boom bap kind of originating rap, rapping in the back of stores, rap battling out in the park, that type of rap, that's my stuff. I'll put anybody on right now if you haven't heard of them. The Freestyle Fellowship, they are probably, other than Run the Jewels, my favorite rap group of all time. They're so good. And they're like poets. Well, they are poets. And the Wu-Tang. I love Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang's my people.
Politicians
But,
are
yeah.
temporary. Wu-Tang is forever.
That is correct.
That's really good.
Wu-Tang forever.
I saw another one of those signs today. I was just like, yeah, I love that sign. Yeah, the question is like, we all listen to like a wide range of music, but what do you consider to be like the home genre where you can always go back to?
Okay, for the people who don't know me, I listen to like everything. I listen to classical because I grew up doing choir, and I listen to Eminem because of Tanner.
Yeah.
Dude,
Don't put Eminem on me.
Oh
Sometimes
my
you
gosh.
need to listen to rap now.
Fill 'em with the feminine. Okay, anyway, I can sort of rap it now, and I feel great about myself.
bars like
You already know. Where I feel at home, like I felt like I was born like 10 years just too late, or 20 years if you want to like say it like that. Obviously it's rock. Like the 90s grunge scene with Soundgarden and not Audio Slave, that's later, but that's just Chris Cornell. Soundgarden, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam. I could listen to that for the rest of my life and never need to listen to anything else. And you guys don't really think about it. So what grunge is, it's not like, it is rock. It's rock vocals, but the music, it all originates from like blues, jazz.
Yeah.
So the downtown Seattle scene.
It just assumes we don't know that. I'm not a student of music.
Okay, I don't know what you know, but
This question was for him in the end.
Yeah.
I know things.
So the downtown Seattle scene, there was a lot of underground music. There's just musicians playing everywhere, making whatever type of music. And they took, like I said, the jazzy parts, it's a lot of like major minor sevenths that's what they really like to use. But it's called the pentatonic scale as well. They use a lot of that. But taking those chords, adding rock vocals, adding those bluesy sounds to your voice, along with a nice jazz rock, get your face out of there, along with a nice jazzy rock beat on drums it's kind of soothing to me. Even, well, there's parts in grunge where it's very soothing and I could just listen to it, or like Oceans by Pearl Jam.
Grunge is soothing.
Or
Quote Robert Williams.
dude, it's so you need to listen to some songs because apparently you don't know.
Grunge
But if you listen to Oceans or Release, like those
Ocean Man? Ocean Man.
There's no point in having it on. Can we turn it
Oh,
off?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the video is dead.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
I didn't even think about it, but like, that probably would help a little bit.
I forgot that happened.
Yeah, we
earlier.
all forgot. You're good.
So yeah, like
okay.
like Oceans or Garden or Release. It's like those songs are so nice to relax to, but then you've got Jesus Christ Pose by Soundgarden, and it's literal screaming, and he's asking, like, you're staring at me in this Jesus Christ pose, save me. It's basically what the song talks about, but it's super. I love it because it's really deep shit.
Sick. I definitely agree.
I could listen to that all day.
I forgot where my true roots.
Okay.
Not my true roots, but I also forgot Motown. I absolutely adore Motown. Aretha.
Oh yeah.
Aretha Franklin, Smokey Robinson, Nat King Cole, even.
Beautiful.
All those guys. All of Motown bangs. I absolutely love it. And then like that transfer into like a kind of evolves into like a Earth, Wind and Fire and all those types of groups. That music, I can listen to that all day. That is so good. Along with my rap, I love Motown and oldies and stuff. I have a very weird love for Elvis. Elvis music, I absolutely love it.
You know, unpopular
I have that
opinion.
too.
Unpopular opinion. I love Billy Joel. I feel like a lot of people don't like him as much now.
Well, if that's moving up, and I'm moving out.
Say, I just don't listen to Billy Joel. I have no.
Well, I mean, he didn't start the fire.
Yeah.
That's Billy Joel.
That's Billy Joel.
Yeah, he didn't start the fire.
That song's all right.
And so it just goes.
That's why it's been burning since the world's been turning. You know, really, that was a Bobby question. I knew in my questions it was going to be more towards Tanner, so I wanted to do a music one because that is really Bobby's sort of thing.
I know all the words to
Yeah,
that
that
song.
song- that song actually
I'm
does
not
come
proud
back.
of it.
Yeah.
So that's a Tanner now.
Is it me?
Yeah, back to you.
Okay.
And last loop around, right?
I never said anything.
Oh, I was gonna. You didn't say anything, so we thought we were.
Oh,
moving.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
stupid.
You're good.
Imagine Dragons. And moving on. No. You did kind of just say it's alternative.
It's made so like because I wanted to go because you brought up an interesting thing and like talking about like your roots in it because I grew up under country music. That's where I grew up.
I did too. I grew up in the swamp. That's all. My mom. I had 11 hermit crabs. They were all named Shania Twain.
I listened to like the problem with saying that like alternative is my home is that like alternative is very broad. So to give it more of a specific thing.
That's why I said I Imagine Dragons, because then they know everything that sounds like that.
Okay, but like
stuff.
Imagine Dragons is like the comfort music. That's like the like
That's home base.
sort of yeah.
It is. That's your fortress of tranquility, or fortress of solitude.
Where I really like to go is like pop punk, however you want to put it. So like I'm gonna say Fall Out Boy and Panic, but I need you to know that I mean like their first album or their first two albums. Like,
Yeah, and like Red Jumpsuit Apparatus and those bands.
Yeah. Green Day. Like
One.
I rock out to American Idiot too often.
Gun. That's the only one I know.
This is like really relevant stuff for currently because I was having this trouble of like I couldn't find any new stuff for it because that's just kind of where pop punk is going right now.
Yeah,
and I just came across a TikToker that was just like, "You think pop punk is dead? Here's 5 new singles for you." And he was just like, "If you like them, I got a playlist in my bio full of them." That shit changed my life. I was like, "Holy shit, I love this!" Like
It's
I
back?
drive. What was it?
People are still writing it?
Yeah, I'll send you the playlist. Like a good example of like one I was listening to driving over here. It's High Hopes by yours truly. And it is so good. It is so good. Another one is Glass Spiders by Hot Milk. It's so good. I was having such a good time.
Y'all make fun of Lil Baby. Y'all got bands like Hot Milk.
That's
What is this?
It's a dumb band name. I'm going to give it to you. But, like, the songs were killing me. And, like, I go back and forth. Like, I've been switching between that and, like, Broadway musical soundtracks recently. Like, it's whatever gets me in the brain that day. I tend to come back on pop punk and alternative music. Sometimes, like, mainly pop punk, but, like, I do get comforted by Imagine Dragons music. I love me some Muse. Muse is, like, to explain alternative music to you, just, like, go and listen to one song off of each of Muse's albums. That's alternative music. Because they're all so different. I love them all, though. But, like, specifically for, like, one of their albums, like, Origin of Symphony, that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just like it.
We all have very different
We have different home bases, but like we all come together in
for
something.
this.
Like,
yeah.
it bleeds over. That's what I like about music.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are like the United States and Russia, and then like I'm like Wakanda. I'm like a myth. I'm so far the other way.
The man, the myth, the swamp.
That is me. Question.
Answer.
I'm going. First. You're first. No, you're going first.
Well, you have to ask a question first.
I know. I'm gonna throw it right at you.
Okay.
Your most irrational fear.
Oh God. We're opening up that door.
Yep.
What kind of irrational are we looking at?
Okay, so I'll hit you with mine first, and I'll let you guys get it.
Because I have two things for you, but I want to know.
My most irrational fear is to walk into a building and look up and there not be any ceiling. Like if anybody's walked into a BJ's and you walk in and look up and there's no like drop ceiling and it goes all the way up to the rafters to the top of the building.
Oh, okay.
That terrifies me. The idea that possibly in one reality that one of the supports could bust off, fall down, and fall on me. I can't look up in like those big box stores like BJ's and Walmart. I was terrified when I worked at Walmart, and like I can't do it. Like when I was little, it was really bad. Like I would just like look at my feet as I walked around. It's one of my most irrational and worst fears. I've gotten better with it, but as I've gotten older, but it used to tear me up. I was terrified. But like I'm fine with heights. Like I go on roller coasters all the time, but that just looking up and I think it might be the fear of being so small. Even that this thing is so high up and I'm so down here, it just freaks me out. But that is my irrational fear.
Okay, so I have this fully irrational fear of flying in airplanes.
It is.
I hate
terrifying.
it. I can't do it. Like there isn't a video of this, but like the last time I was on an airplane, which was my senior year of high school, of like my best friend at the time who was honest to God, just like, Zach, you've been on a plane before, it's gonna be fine. And I'm like white knuckle gripping the seats. Yeah, that one probably.
What about you, Mr. Man of Steel over there?
A Man of Steel?
Yeah.
I'm like a man
Mr. I'm not scared of anything. What's up?
You want to get deep?
No.
Oh.
I wanted irrational means something ridiculous.
We don't want to get into why I'm afraid of it.
If you can literally have no irrational fears, and that's fine. If you have rational fears, that's fine. I have that one, and I was like,
yeah, I was going to.
I wonder if everybody's weird like me.
So,
I mean, like I have anxiety. That alone is an irrational fear.
right there, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I don't want to talk to this person. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? I
So
don't fucking
like,
know.
I'm weird, and when
Same.
I got into a car accident 2 years.
With the red truck?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 years ago.
Was
And
that
like
2 years ago?
Yep.
Damn.
it was 2 years ago, right? That's how I feel.
Damn.
His face still has not healed.
Yeah, it's my nose is probably crooked from that.
It was crooked before. It's just
I
worse
think he's
now.
just calling you ugly.
Thank you. So
He's like the episode with SpongeBob where Squidward gets punched and he gets real beautiful, and then he gets punched again. He goes back to being ugly.
Oh, okay.
Bobby just never got
Better.
Never had a beautiful face.
Yeah.
So if you guys have seen Cars, the movie, where Lightning McQueen does the ka-chow.
Yeah.
That's how my car looked when we were done. The fucking wheel was sideways.
So what is the fear?
Anyway,
Of your
that
car
was
being
just so
alive?
no. So now I get these visions of myself drifting off and just smacking into other cars. And I have this fear that I'm just gonna do it for
that's
no
irrational.
reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you that's irrational, but I'm also gonna say that you're not alone in that because I'm like 4 years removed from a car crash and I still have that.
You make me feel so normal. The cop said that if I was driving anything else, like literally
Yeah, you'd
anything,
be
I'd
dead.
be dead.
He had
So-
a big truck, so he was all right.
Yeah.
He's my dad's.
Purebred American.
So I called my mom that day and I was like, Mom, I crashed Dad's truck. She's like, don't fuck with me right now. Please tell me you're fucking with me. I'm like, Mom, you gotta come pick me up. She didn't believe me. It was
Yeah.
so funny.
It's
Well, it
a
wasn't.
weird
It's funny
time.
looking back, but like, she was like, bullshit. Don't fuck with me. Come on, because I do that shit with her all the time. But like now, but then it was serious. It's like the boy who cried wolf. The boy who cried, hey, I fucked up Dad's car.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could live anywhere in the world for the rest of your life,
Where would it be and why?
yeah.
So I have an answer for this. Do you?
Yeah, but I don't have a why for it.
Okay, then you go first. 'cause you're
Genuinely, for some reason, I just want to live in London, and I don't know why. It's just
It's
Yeah.
definitely a cool place to go.
It's like the idea of like because I've always lived like in this out and open kind of like country area. I've always wanted to live in a city, and I've always just wanted to live in the UK. So it's just like both of those things combined.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Change of pace too. Like here's a bit of a why because it's materializing in my brain. Taking yourself and putting yourself into a completely new situation. A lot could happen from that, and it could be a lot of cool stuff. Like my friend just straight up moved to South Korea one day for a job, which mental.
Yeah.
But I wish I could do that. But I also don't wish I could do that.
Yeah.
Please don't. But please do. Anyway, that's my short little thing.
So mine would be I would go live in Lisbon. It is a city in Portugal. It's also the hometown of Benfica, my favorite soccer team. The culture around soccer in Europe is such a bonding with a random person like they're your brother,
yes.
and especially
That's
in
so
Portugal. It's probably the biggest team in Portugal, even the most historic team. And I want to go there and do the chant and watch a home game. Also, Lisbon is absolutely beautiful. And the weather's usually nice. It's not always rainy like London.
It's true.
But it's just a beautiful place. I get to have that. And then I also want to learn a different language. So Portuguese,
That's fair.
Would
That's
be
a
sick.
great point.
Portuguese is very cool to speak.
yeah.
I
very cool
love
to
your
sing.
soccer reason. Like that's why I've started to like
the-
soccer is because of
The
that.
brotherhood with just football like that.
Yeah, and you know the reason.
I want it so
Yeah.
bad.
And you know that's why, like, I of all teams, I attached myself to a third-tier English soccer
Yeah.
team because that story of brotherhood behind it is so
It's sick.
thing. I don't know if I've ever told you the story of AFC Wimbledon.
But it's
We'll talk.
it's sick.
I don't have time with it.
Yeah.
What about you, Bobber?
Well, like I always talked about grunge and I talked about Seattle. It's
So you
funny.
would just move to the London of the United States.
Essentially. So my brother lives in Spokane, Washington. So I went to go visit him last month. And my dad always talked about how beautiful it was there, and I was like,
Where'd you say it was? Spokane?
Spokane, Washington?
See any
Hmm?
see any like glimmering white boys or
Nah.
any wolf people?
Like one.
Really?
Oh.
So I went to Spokane or Spokane, however you want to pronounce it. And it's so beautiful. So right down the center of the city, they just have a waterfall, and it just flows through the fucking city.
Oh, it's fucking
And there's a park there, and you could just go. It's beautiful, and it's the perfect combination between outdoors country and city, where there's a big community, and there's still like a 20-mile drive to the next city, so it's really cool.
Sick.
I just really loved it there. But I guess that would be my choice. Like, if not, somewhere in Europe. Like, freaking Rome is so beautiful. Yo, the Colosseum is so fucking cool, man.
Most places in Italy are just, they bang. They really are sick.
Just the way that they build over there, I also find it fascinating just because my mom was an architect for years. So
how they let stuff just lean. That's pretty cool. You have one?
Yeah.
Last question.
Okay.
Right?
So this is...
Make it count.
Yeah, it should be the last question.
Is it good? Is it a good last question?
I think it is.
No pressure.
All right, let me go, and then I'll let you go. Mine's real quick.
Is yours like a really good last question?
No, it's not. That's why I want you to go last.
Like mine's not a great last question,
but it'll be better.
Yeah, it'll be better than yours.
Okay. Right. I think this might be very easy for y'all. Your dream job. If you could have any job in the world, what are you doing?
That's easy.
Yeah. What is your? Go ahead.
Rock star. Like
Rockstar.
just go be a fucking performer.
You know, I love the thing. Okay, we're gonna do this real quick because like that is never something I would say, but everyone just kind of fucking wants to be a rock star, don't they? Like
I don't.
Really?
No, I have no want to ever be a rock star.
Sometimes like I got the music turned up in my headset. I'm just like, yeah, no, I want to fucking rock out on stage, sure.
I do not want to live in a bus and tour across the country and perform like that.
You don't have to do that.
I could not do it.
You could just go in your private jet and fly to the next city.
But I don't want to
if
travel
you are
the
that
country
cool.
for my I want to be in a place. I want to live a life with a family in a house.
I love that. I'll get there at some point.
My guy.
I have no want to travel the country without living, because when you're the rock star, you can't experience these cool places you go because you have that notoriety, and you're never going to be able to do anything.
That's debatable because you can schedule something
Michael
every month.
Michael Jackson could not go out in public. He was a rock star. If you were a rock star and you are the rock star, you cannot go anywhere in public.
I didn't say the rock star.
You need to be surrounded by security. I don't want to have to walk around and have 3 big guys around me because somebody might try to just punk me just to punk me.
Listen, just hear him out. I'm just saying. Hannah Montana.
Never.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
I'm not saying
that I put a mustache on when I go on stage?
Fame about it, but I'm not a rock star. I wouldn't be known to most people. So
yeah, no, that's fair. It's a good point on it.
So what about you?
I want to. It's kind of weird and kind of abstract. I want to be. I want my job to be able to create things, but I want to be able to do that. Like not have to fall back on. Like if there's business stuff, I'm good with business. I like running businesses. Like
you want to be a GM.
Kind of,
like,
yeah.
If there were a basketball team, you don't want to be the owner. You want to be the GM who makes all of the decisions creatively.
Like, being the owner is cool, and I'm, like, down for that, but I don't want to just buy something and let it run itself. I want to get in there. I want to be part of that. Like
I said it just to Bobby before we started. I was like, Zach doesn't want to be an owner. He would be a GM.
Say I had more money than I do. I don't want to, like, hire you, Bobby, and say, like, Darian, and have you guys do a podcast. No, I want to be in that. I want to be part of that. Because, first of all, there's community between creators. And I love creating. That's one of my favorite things that I get to do sometimes.
Yeah.
And, like, there's so many things that I want to create. Like, I have comic book plans, and I have all this other stuff. That
you almost want to run a label.
Kind of, yeah.
You kind of want to, like, that's what I'm getting. Like, you want to run a bunch of talent, but also be involved in the talent.
But also, like, I don't even want to...
You want to be a Suge Knight without all the illegal stuff.
Sure. I don't, but at the same time, I don't want to run them because they're creative processes, but I want to collaborate with them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Because that's, like, collaboration is, like, that's the human goal, at least in my eyes, is the human condition. The human goal should be, like, the collaborating with each other.
Yeah.
So, like, I want to, like, even in, like, doing this stuff, like, a goal that I don't set because I don't want to be disappointed with myself, but something I want to do is I want to collaborate with not just people that I've looked up to this whole time, but also people who are doing cool things. Like, give, like, an easy example is, like, we love the Pop Striker guys. Love to collaborate with them on stuff. But, like, just that, I love collaborating, and I want to be able to do that and not have to worry about everything else. Like, to give an example for this, like, this week that we're in now, we finish this recording, I take it home to edit. I'm also working. Like, I worked 3 days this 7-day work week, and most of it is going to be most of my off time is going to be spent doing this. I love doing this. Don't get me wrong, but it takes a toll, and I would love to not be there. But I also don't want to get so big and so powerful that I don't have time to create for myself. I don't want to be running everything all the time.
Yeah.
I want to be able to flex that creative muscle.
Oh,
that's the point of doing it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I get you.
Yeah.
Am I gone?
Yeah.
I want to be a sports talking head so bad.
Oh,
like
yes.
Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, Stephen A. Smith, any of those guys.
He only
wanna
asked this
debate
question
sports on live TV
for this.
more than anything in the world. I want to put out my opinions. I want to have hot takes. I love that stuff. Whether it be for football, basketball, soccer, that's what I want to do. I am a student of the game. If I find a sport I enjoy, I look through all the history. I find all the tape. I dissect everything. I am in love with the art of the debate, especially when it comes to sports. That's my dream job. If I could take Skip Bayless's job right now, I would hate on LeBron every day, just like he's done for the last 15 years. I'd do it in a heartbeat. I love it. That's my thing. That would be my dream job. 100%, without a doubt. But yeah.
Suck
all right.
it, bitch.
So Zach, you want to end this off with your big
Sure.
question?
So you can go as in depth as you want. I started to show my hand because yours started to bleed into mine a bit because it's just how it is. You have unlimited funds to make it, unlimited route, whatever you need to make it. Okay. You are in charge with creating your dream creation. Unlimited. What would you make?
What? Okay,
think...
dream creation, like it's an object or it's anything in the world that I want. Like it's a piece of parchment.
I'm gonna take this how I want to take this.
Yeah, take it how you want to take it. Don't get too ridiculous, please, but take it how you want to take it.
This is gonna be a teaser. So if you wanna hear more about this, you probably will eventually. I would make a video game. It's gonna be a crossover. It's gonna be just like Marvel Ultimate Alliance. It's gonna be Marvel versus DC. This is the get perfect game that I want. This is the conversation me and Zach bonded over and became friends over. First time we hung out, we sat in a parking lot for like 5 hours talking about this game. That's what I would make. And you're going to hear more about it because I'm going to attack Mr. Captain Zach Young until we do the episode.
We're going to bring it back eventually. So just like for anyone who's wondering, the original pilot of this show that was going to be released as episode 1 had that as the main.
Yeah.
And like we're just kind of like we want to wait some time before we go at that again.
It's so fantastic.
But I'm ready to do it. Like we're going to do it before the end of the summer.
Say, we have the story, we have characters. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's going to bang. But that's my ultimate creation. That would be what I would want because I love the Ultimate Alliance games. I love those two. I feel like we need the crossover, and I think that's it. I think that's the wave.
Well, like it wasn't really a surprise for either of us.
Yeah,
when you brought it up.
Trying to go surprising.
No, yeah, I know. So
I didn't know if you're trying to pull something out. Like that's cool, and like again, like it's your thing. Go with it, my guy.
Real quick, if I was not allowed to do that, if we were to ban that, I would get together and make a collaboration album with Africa Bambaataa, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, and Prime Eminem.
There you go.
I would make that rap project. I think that's a guy who I think originated with the sound, and then I think my goats of rap.
That's cool.
I think that album would bang.
I love that a lot.
Because they all bring a different thing, I think.
Well, now I can't fucking do that. Thanks.
You still can.
You could.
Basically.
You're not going to choose the same artists, are you?
No, basically the same shit.
Yeah,
but
with
the people that I was speaking of earlier, with the same sounds that I love. What I would make.
Don't be afraid, for mine, don't be afraid to, pick something that could feasibly happen. Like, something that you could be working on now.
So, Eddie Van Halen, when he started going and when he was young and started playing guitar and started doing all that, he then takes these pickups and starts making this one. He fuses it on. How's this one sound? Take it off. Put the different one on. Put a Gibson, whatever. And he takes different pickups from different guitars. Like that one's a Fender. That's Fender Stratocaster.
I don't remember if it was a Telecaster or a Stratocaster.
So
wasted youth, my guy.
So I would want to do that, but create the sound that I want and my own personal sound. Like it is feasible for me to do that and create my own pickups and create my own whatever. But I would just love to have my own signature guitar that is my sound. That is it'd be so fun.
Sick.
Because when you listen to that, if I ever play it for you, like if you listen to the freaking intro, I play that. That's me. That's me with with the fuzz pedal
The
on just a
electric
little
triangle.
bit. With the electric triangle, with digging in those corners, and but I want my own sound that isn't something that you haven't heard before, but it isn't something that you associate with other people.
You want to have your thing. Like when people hear that in the future, they know.
Bobby wants to evolve the music.
I'm into
That's
it.
what Bobby wants.
Yeah.
That's a sick answer, bro.
Yeah, it is.
I love it so much. Thank you.
I know I've done an amendment already to my answer. A successful sports podcast. There's so many things I want in life.
There's so many things I want I just cannot have.
Also, Hakeem, if my perfect creation, the ability to get Hakeem Olajuwon's phone number. I want that one.
Just somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's
Just slide it in there somewhere.
These are all things I want. But yeah.
I love that.
What about you, Mr.
So
Zacharias?
This is the thing that like I have no idea if I'll be able to make this in my early start it in my lifetime, but I want even if I just make like the first volume, it'll already be a dream come true. I know I've told you about this a lot. I don't know how much of it I told Bobby, but since like 2015, 2016, I've been noting every thought I've had about building my own comic universe to where like it's so weird that I don't even know where to start on it or to explain it, but just to begin actually publishing comics from that universe and like really start to publish it again, even if it's just a first volume of it, like 6 issues on that. Like that alone would be a dream come true. If I could actually make it to what would be like my first crossover arc, that would be like mind-blowing sort of thing. Like obviously if I had all the resources, I would do everything that I've written down to this point, and there's a fucking lot just for the sake of it.
I love that.
Yeah, and again, there's a possibility that could happen in my life. Like I'm a good enough writer that I could start that process.
So wholesome.
But I don't know the rest of the crew for it. I would need an artist and an inker, and I'm not good enough on it.
Homegrown talent.
When I was talking about my like vision about what I want, I have it. It's like it's a work in progress.
Yeah, that's why
the blueprints.
That's why when you start talking, I was like, it can be something you're working on that's feasible.
No. I've already taken a guitar apart.
There you go.
It's like down there. It's I'll show you guys after, but it's super cool.
All right.
Sorry, not to.
Any other little questions anyone wants to get out? I've accepted this episode is going to be long because I feel like it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just think real quick. Take 5 seconds, and then ask a random question.
I know you said no superlatives, but I gotta know. Favorite movie, favorite film.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Bobby.
Avatar, with the blue people.
Really, that's your favorite film?
My favorite film.
Okay, Interstellar.
I know. I'm weird.
Interstellar. It's not a bad choice. I just.
Yeah.
It seems out of pocket.
I really like Avatar, but Interstellar's mine.
Yeah. Favorite book? It can be a comic book if you want it to be.
The Dictionary. Without it, we wouldn't be able to form words.
Book. The Hobbit.
Okay, it's your question.
No, actually, my favorite book.
Mine is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for those who are curious.
I'm sticking with the Dictionary.
Okay. Origins of a Song by Jake Grogan. And it has 202 origins of like famous crazy songs, and I
pulled it out.
He did.
It's so good.
Pulled up with it. I said you pulled up with it.
You got a quick one. It can be a superlative if you want it to be.
What is your favorite place to eat?
This changes weekly, my guy.
I
I currently have an obsession with Mission Barbecue.
What is your favorite drink? Then
Diet Coke. Diet Coke without it. I have diabetes, people, so Diet Soda's my way.
Yeah.
So Diet Coke.
Oh God, favorite drink. This is my problem. My big problem with superlative is I don't have favorites for a lot of things.
Top 3. Go.
What?
Top 3 drinks. Go.
Diet Coke. Diet. Diet Grape, Fanta specifically.
Ooh.
And then.
My guy got fancy.
I did, because grape soda's so good. And then, I don't know.
Any drink?
What do you mean drink?
Diet water?
Grape Aid.
A nice
Oh.
That Arizona, those big grape aids.
It's
Ooh.
my
They are
gosh.
so good.
I thought you were gonna say a water on the rocks.
Those,
That's what I was thinking.
like that grape aid.
Hopefully this one doesn't taste like
grape
ice
aid
cubes.
/ orangeade from Arizona. Those
Okay.
are my things.
Okay.
We're gonna do Dr. Pepper. Cheer wine.
Cheer
Really good.
wine.
See, the problem is you guys don't know cheer wine.
I know wine.
It's not wine, it's a soda, but it's cheer wine.
I know what it is.
I know you know what it is. You've watched me drink it.
Yes.
Last one isn't a soda. Really, and I've been big on this lately, but like I've made...
Coke with a lime wedge.
No!
Every time we go to any restaurant, can I get Coke with a lime wedge? Just say with lime. They're going to bring you a lime. You say a wedge, they're not going to bring you any more lime. They're going to give you the same amount they were going to give the other guy who asked for lime. Because they keep about 3 limes in the place. They got to go behind the bar to get the lime they put in the alcohol to get you a slice of lime, who is also getting some sriracha chicken with this corn. And they don't care about your lime. They're going to give you the same slice because it's more beneficial for them to put the lime in the alcohol because they don't care about you. They're not going to bring you a wedge. You're getting a slice like the rest of us. Peasant. Jesus, this lime wedge thing, it's been eating at me. I had to get it off my chest.
Why? It's a lime wedge.
It bothers me, Zach, okay?
It's gonna be an orange wedge next time.
Well, I don't even know how that would taste.
No, it's a strawberry mango smoothie. You get one every morning.
Okay. There you go.
Every morning?
From Wawa, yeah, man. I make them myself, and they're better if you make them yourself, truthfully. Like, I make a better
Most
one than
things.
Wawa, but like, yeah, I just as I'm about to leave home, I punch in the order, and then I swing by Wawa on my way and grab one. Makes my morning so much better. I gotta give it to it.
I used to, strawberry
Mango.
Strawberry mango. I used to do the banana mango
Yeah.
on the way to work, but like
Today I
it
just
filled
had
me up
mango,
so much.
and like I love mangoes are kind of like my fruit, but like just having another thing in it, whether it's banana or strawberry. One day they had a strawberry banana mango, and that hit pretty well. But like having something else in there just makes it work.
Ice cream or water ice?
Ice cream.
water ice.
Water ice.
like water ice, but I love
not
ice cream.
because
Love
I
water ice.
dislike ice cream more, but because water ice makes me feel more refreshed.
I just like water
That's
ice.
fair. I give you that. But I
Because
like ice cream.
when I have water ice,
Mango
I don't
water ice
feel
is-
I don't feel like I'm gonna throw up after I eat a whole pint of it
Yeah.
because
but
it's
just
water ice.
Water ice. I have no rationale. Water ice is just better for me.
You're just weak.
My
That's
3
fair.
are Dr. Pepper, probably Shirley Temple, Shirley Temple, or you guys ever have Moxie?
Oxy? No, I don't do pills.
OxyClean. No, Moxie.
No.
So it's like if Dr. Pepper and root beer had a baby and it came out as black licorice.
Cool.
You and me one day. You need to come with us to Mission Barbecue so you can try a cheer wine.
Bet. I would
Because
love that.
it's like do you like cherry sodas, like cherry cola and stuff like that?
It's Dr. Pepper is basically just cherry,
No, it isn't.
and it's
We don't have time for this fight.
no. It's not only, but never mind. There's another freaking taste that I
Black
forget
cherry
what it
soda.
is.
For like great value, and it usually tastes like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah,
I think that's his argument.
okay. But like because you're going to try cheer wine, and like also if you've never been to Mission Barbecue, you need to come to us
It's
to
pretty
Mission
good.
Have
Barbecue.
you ever had the black cherry Stewart's?
I was thinking about Stewart's as my 3, but
Yeah, I almost pulled out like
Well,
an orange cream Stewart's.
orange. That's exactly where I
Yeah.
was going.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
All right. Well, that has been our character building episode. You would know a little bit more about each one of us. Thank you guys for joining us today. This was a very beneficial episode, I hope.
Yep. Do you want to keep this as the premiere, even though we still have video issues?
I think we're going to just have to because we're going to...
Yeah, like I'm down. Like we have the stuff in the beginning still.
Yeah.
That's still gonna work. So like all of like the joke stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm down for still making this episode 1.
Yeah.
If you want any updates from us on the socials, I'm at CapSuckYoung on everywhere. And something that we keep forgetting to plug is the podcast has its own social medias.
Oh, yes, it does.
It has a Twitter and it
Yes.
has an Instagram, and that's just at Kaiju and Comics. I was able to secure those.
Yes,
If you
sir.
want to send us an email for whatever fucking reason, kaijuandcomics@gmail.com. That's open.
Yep.
If you want to send us, if you want to do anything or get in contact with anything specifically for the podcast, send it that way.
I
still
will not be running any of those.
I run them all.
The people who are bad at social media should not be running the social media. Soon to be Bobby Williams official on everything. Actually, I'm switching things up a bit, but yeah, you can find me at Bobby Williams official on Facebook, Instagram, probably Twitter soon. I suck at social media though, so I don't post a lot, but you will be able to find my dates and my locations on there. I will send posts, and just keep a lookout if you're in the South Jersey area and you'd like somebody to, go perform for you if you own a restaurant or know somebody who does. I would really appreciate it. So thank you, everybody.
If you want to support us on Patreon, that's at @CapZachYoung. Technically, it supports all of my specific content, but most of the perks are podcast related. Speaking of that, we are not off to do the Patreon segment because it's late and hot in here. That's fine. Okay. But we're doing a bunch of extra stuff that we're going to be seeing in the next few days from there, including drop takes from this episode, past episodes. I'm trying to fill that up on there so that way you guys have more, and also other stuff on the YouTube, which is also CapZachYoung. And if you're watching on the YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video around, share the podcast around. If you're on iTunes, because we should be on iTunes by the time this episode comes out, all of my Apple Podcast stuff has been submitted, and they were sending me approved emails. So hopefully by the time the first episode drops, we will be everywhere.
Great.
It's taken a few weeks, but we're there. If you're there, like us, leave a review, all the things that you need to do on iTunes. We don't have iPhones. We don't know.
Hopefully, come in the next couple of weeks, we get some extra time to record a little bit more. We're going to have some more regular content that's not just the podcast on YouTube. Try to get some other stuff that we're going to do. We got to figure out what that's going to be, but we're going to try to do some more regular content other than podcast stuff. I think we're going to come into some time next week, I think.
That's what it sounds like.
To try to backlog a couple of things, but
definitely.
Hopefully we can get out some more regular content so it's not all just podcasts and we can do some things a little bit differently.
Yeah, and until then.
If you guys have any ideas for us,
drop them in the comments.
Drop them in the comments.
Comments. Love to hear. Either the podcast Twitter or my Twitter or the Instagram.
I'm working with two talentless and uncreative hacks. I need help. I can't make everything every week.
You're lucky that camera's not recording. You are lucky that camera's not recording.
Oh, I didn't mean it. Yes, I did.
You are lucky. Oh.
All you just hear is a thud, and Tanner dropped to the ground, and it's just like Zach's just beating his dead body.
Tanner can no longer speak.
All right.
Until then, I've been the comics captain, Zach Young.
I've been the techie.
I've been your Kaiju commander, Tanner Bays.
And we're out. We'll see you next week.
I like that outro.
It'll do.
We'll keep that outro.